Jamestown Jimmies basketball is brought to you by Creative Energy and Dan Superstop, Dakota Central, Hugo's Family Marketplace, Otter Tail Power Company, Professional Eye Care Centers, The Frontier Ford Grill, Unison Bank, Hillerud Construction, SMP Health Ave Maria, Gun and Reel Sports, Essentia Health, Farmers Union Insurance, Steve Benyon Agent, Jamestown Country Club, Originals, Apex Physical Therapy, Jamestown Parks and Recreation, Johnny B's Brickhouse, Buffalo City Diesel, Vetter Construction, RM Stout, and Pit Stop Express Lube. Now, Jamestown Jimmies basketball.
And the challenge continues for the Jamestown Jimmies, looking still well ahead to their future, to next season in the NSIC. They're in a stretch of 6 consecutive games against future NSIC opponents, and in some cases they have opponents that they have played in the past. The last one was the best one so far, a most convincing win last Saturday night at home over Northern State, 79-64. The Jimmies' first men's basketball win over the Wolves in 15 games and over 76 years. Today, the Jimmies have come to Sioux Falls, South Dakota in the Bill Gross Classic at Augustana University. They'll play the host Vikings tomorrow, but today, a challenge. And don't let their record of 2-4 fool you. They were the national champions last season in NCAA Division II, and they're strong again. They're the Minnesota State Mavericks. We are at the Elman Center at Augustana University, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Jamestown Jimmies, and the Minnesota State Mavericks from Mankato, of course, but they prefer to be referred to just as Minnesota State. Hello from Sioux Falls. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving and happy holidays. With B.J. Walters, I'm David Burrell. Thanks for joining us on Jamestown 107.1 and also on newsdakota.com, Alexa, the app, all the other ways you can hear us online, and on the Heritage Signal of I3G Media in Jamestown, and that's 1400 a.m. Too much Thanksgiving turkey yesterday has gotten to me a little bit. No, we're glad to have you with us, and glad to have you with us with your turkey or sandwich or casserole or whatever you're doing with the leftovers today. For what should be a fun couple of days here. And Beach, Saturday night against Northern State, and we talked about it that night, the progress that this team has made, and Casey Brueggemann, we'll hear from later, still says there's more to come. But I think an indication Saturday that a lot of progress had been made with just a great effort on both ends of the ball last Saturday night in that win.
It absolutely was. And when you think about it, saying that it is the most complete performance of the season does not make it perfect. But it is hard to view that game anything but the most complete performance of the season. They dominated the backboards. They dominated turning turnovers into points, 23-4 on points off turnovers. And then the balance. In the last 2 games now, Jimmy Linus is 14 of 16 from the field. He just dominated that game on Saturday. And a lot of things that don't even go into the box score, the way he impacts play with his length and things of that nature. Silas Benyon, well-earned NSAA Player of the Week coming off of that game with 19 points. And you get all of these contributions, and yet there are still very clear signals that it can get better. Will Cordes is not a 5% three-point shooter. No. He's 40% for his career. He's going to heat up at some point. And so when you start to look at those things, there's reason to get really excited about where we're headed.
And Anthony Walters is here, and Owen Heckner, even though the last couple of games have been a struggle for the field, he went 9 of 9 as the Jimmies went 25 of 29 at the foul line, including 18 and 19 in the second half. But defensively, they picked it up, and defensively is where they're going to need to pick it up today. Yeah, it's a 2-4 start, but again, don't let that fool you. Minnesota State's had a tough schedule early on. There's still a lot of talent on this team. They lost some from the team that won the national championship last year, but they go 7 deep, and they're all scorers. That's what makes the matchups tough against this team.
It certainly does. And the 2-4 record, there's only one loss that makes you scratch your head a little bit. It's their NSIC loss to Southwest. but Southwest is still undefeated right now. So maybe we're just not valuing the Mustangs as much as we should be, maybe in the polls and things. But this is a team that went to Rupp Arena. Yes, they lost, but they were not overwhelmed by Kentucky, by Mark Pope's team. So this is a really good basketball team. It all starts with Kyrie Willingham, but it's a team that's good at a couple of different things, getting to their spot and getting the shot they want, and then they crash the offensive glass like crazy.
Kentucky was their exhibition game. Yes, that Kentucky. BJ was right. Mark Pope, they went to Rupp Arena and all that. So this is a team that's used to playing under the bright lights, but they're strong. Matt Morgan-Thaler has really earned his stripes in his now 24th season as head coach. Casey Brueggemann in his 8th game as a head coach, but regarded as a rising star in his profession. So we've got an interesting matchup today. It's the Jimmies and Minnesota State. Tomorrow we'll be here for the Jimmies and Augustana, and that'll be a 12:30 airtime tomorrow afternoon here on Jamestown 107.1. But this is the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame, and we're just getting going, and we're going to look at NSAA basketball and also the NSIC coming up and chat about what both Jimmy teams have ahead. After today, not a whole lot of game action for the Jimmy men in December. There will be some for the women. We'll have our pregame visit with Casey Brueggemann too. Glad you're with us on this Friday after Thanksgiving and hope you are staying warm. We know how cold it is at home. If you're going to the Holiday Dazzle Parade tonight, oh brother, bundle up, because those single-digit temperatures and that wind are going to make it tough this afternoon. But stay warm, stay inside with us, and stay with us for Jimmy basketball against Minnesota State. Still coming up, more on the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame from Sioux Falls on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
The Frontier Fort invites you in for a true Dakota Territory dining experience. This unique location looks like an authentic 1800s fort. Head upstairs and you'll be greeted with the mouth-watering aroma of freshly grilled ribeyes and barbecued ribs. They're open from 4 to 9 Monday through Saturday, and their legendary prime rib is served on Fridays and Saturdays. Now hiring a full-time or part-time cook. Call 252-7492. The Frontier Fort, on the road to the Buffalo, Jamestown.
Otter Tail Power Company would like to remind you about the importance of high school athletics in the lives of children. Those extracurricular activities play a role in the education and development of those kids involved and provide a way for kids to learn some of life's most important lessons. Lessons that'll take them through life with a sense of accomplishment and pride. Otter Tail Power Company would like to salute those athletes, coaches, and fans who make every season one to remember.
Two Rivers Activity Center in Jamestown is hiring. Do you like interacting with people? Do you enjoy a fun, upbeat atmosphere and a clean workspace? If so, the perfect opportunity awaits you at TRAC. They're currently hiring for a variety of part-time positions for lifeguard and guest service and wellness attendants. They'll work with your existing schedule, whether you already have another job or are a college student. Check out trackjamestown.com to learn more about these positions and how to apply today.
Where do you find the friendliest staff, largest selection, lowest prices, and the freshest produce? Hugo's in Jamestown. But what if you can't go to the store? Hugo's Family Marketplace offers online shopping. You can shop all the departments and all the sales at GoHugos.com. Choose pickup or Hugo's delivery service, and they'll do the in-store shopping for you. Hugo's Family Marketplace online shopping at GoHugos.com.
You're gonna find more low prices, more great stuff when you go to Hugo's.
Jamestown and Minnesota State were at the Bill Gross Classic. Augustana University in Sioux Falls at the Elman Center. Bill Gross was a excellent basketball player at Augustana in the early 70s. Longtime head coach, longtime athletic director, and is in this university's Athletic Hall of Fame. That is for whom this event is named. The S&P Health Ave Maria pregame, as we always do. We look at NSAA basketball and look ahead to the NSIC. But in the NSAA, Beezer, some men's teams are off some pretty good starts.
Yeah, they certainly are. In fact, pretty much everyone is playing really well right now. Dakota State a little slower than the rest on the men's side, but a couple of teams in action in Dickinson today. Valley City State, we've wondered about how good they are. Well, after this weekend, we will get to compare scores. They're going to play MSU Northern today, and the Jimmies have already played MSU Northern. That is the first men's game in Dickinson. The second men's game is Rocky Mountain College and the host Dickinson State Blue Hogs, so that'll be interesting to follow. On the women's side, also in Dickinson, Valley City State playing MSU Northern in women's basketball, and Rocky Mountain College playing Dickinson State in men's basketball. That is in Harve, Montana, the women's game. In the NSIC today, this is the first of two games here. Truman State will play Augustana when we are done. Mary is in Rapid City playing Black Hills State. Also in Rapid City, Minot State plays South Dakota Mines. And in St. Petersburg, Florida, Minnesota Crookston playing the University of Tampa.
Oh, nice and warm in St. Peters.
Yes, it is. And that's only the second nicest place that an NSIC team is playing. Mary is also at that Tampa event in women's basketball. They are facing St. Leo. In Golden, Colorado, Minnesota State is playing the Colorado School of Mines. MSU Moorhead is playing the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs in Honolulu tonight. And Northern State is playing the host Hawaii Hilo tonight in Hilo, Hawaii. So a lot of holiday action, as is very customary these days in college basketball.
Why did you have to tell me about Florida and Hawaii?
I know.
And we're both sitting here with looking like Nanook from the north. Oh well. As we say, do keep warm. For the Jimmies, again, after in men, after they play Augustana tomorrow, finals and a chance to get going again. But of course, the first game in December is a big one with Dickinson State at Harold Newman Arena on December 13th. And then 3 nights later, it's that rematch with Northern State and Aberdeen on the 16th. And then they don't play again until the 29th of December, and that'll be in Mitchell against the former GPAC foe, Dakota Wesleyan. There's a little bit more for the women. Thad Sankey's team off to a great start at 4-1, and a former GPAC foe, Midland, comes to Harold Newman Arena for a 1 o'clock tip-off tomorrow, and then there are games next weekend for the Jimmy women. First in Dillon, Montana, Thursday against Montana Western, and then next Saturday, a week from tomorrow, that is, against Montana Tech in Butte before that opener with Dickinson State on the 13th. And we may say, well, the conference opener is just ahead. It might sneak up on us. It's not going to sneak up on either one of these Jimmy teams. They're going to be ready for it.
They certainly are. And you mentioned how there's the break before Dickinson State. It doesn't matter how well this weekend goes. You still need time in the lab. And they're going to be able to get some time in the lab these next 2 weeks around their studies, which are, of course, I know it doesn't seem this way all the time with the way that collegiate sports are treated these days, but these are still student athletes. I know sometimes we forget that with these crazy hectic schedules that these folks have, but they're still students. They're still working on getting degrees and such. And I mean, I was just looking on the bus as we were traveling down yesterday. There were some things on some computers that I certainly did not understand.
Yeah. I'm sitting there reading out sports, and they're reading about biophysics and that sort of thing. And I said, I can't compete with that. This is the S&P Alta Ave Maria pregame. They are student athletes after all. Jamestown and Minnesota State, an interesting game today here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And coming up, it's our pregame visit with Jimmy's head coach, Casey Brueggemann, on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
At Unison Bank, we provide financial solutions for customers to meet their needs today and achieve their dreams tomorrow. From personal banking services like checking accounts, mortgage, and auto loans, to business banking services. At Unison Bank, we offer financial solutions with prompt responses and quality service. Visit unisonbank.com for more information. Located in Jamestown, Linton, and Wishick, as well as Gilbert, Arizona. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Awesome win against Northern State. Very proud of how our guys are starting to gel more on both ends of the floor. And the exciting part for me as a coach is you take a look at the film and we're happy with the progress we've made, but there's still so many areas that we can improve on. And I think we're far from firing on all cylinders, and it's just keeping our guys in that growth mindset. We're going to try to get better every single game, and we have a great opportunity this weekend against two of the best programs in the entire country at the Division II level.
No doubt. Defensively, where do you think this team has made the most progress in the last few games?
Defense, for me as a coach, I think I really believe in toughness and effort. Those two things cover up a lot of wrongs. We certainly have gotten better scheme-wise, but I love how hard our guys are playing. I love how hard they compete, and that's something that has to be a daily attitude, and our guys bring it in practice. So to see the defensive strides, and we're not perfect. We're giving up a few too many points in some different areas, but I'm happy with that, and we know that defense can always travel, and defense can always be there, where sometimes your jump shot shooting might come and go a little bit, but if you play defense, you're going to give yourself a good opportunity to win games, and also going to help your offense as it allows you to get out in transition.
We always seem to get to rebounding in our conversations, and I bring it up today because it's going to be an important thing for you, because here you are facing a team that just goes after the offensive glass. This is a team that in 6 games has had 13 offensive rebounds a game in Minnesota State, so that's going to be vital for you to make sure and limit that today, right?
Coach Markenthaler's crew does a great job, and historically has done a great job. They attack the offensive glass with force, and certainly they have some plus athletes for this level to just go up and get rebounds. So our guys are going to have to do a great job of eliminating their man on box outs, and then it's going to be a total team effort to gang rebound and make sure we secure that stop, because it's one thing to force them into a tough shot, but we've got to make sure it's one shot and done so that we can transition into offense.
And this is something that this team has, and it's something not only for this level, but for even the level above that. They only go about 7 deep, but they've got 7 scores. I mean, you've got 6 of them basically at double figures, and another guy at a little over 8 here in these first 6 games, but that's just the way they are and have been for a long time, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give credit again to Coach Markenthaler and his coaching staff. They do an incredible job of recruiting, and they're able to attract some really good talent there. Obviously, they won the national title last year with some high-level talent. And as some of those guys graduated, they just seem to find that next crew of players that's going to be producing for them, whether that's through the transfer portal or through their redshirting program. They just have guys up and down their roster. They always have some of the most talented teams in the country, and credit to Coach Markenthaler's staff. So we're going to have to be ready on all fronts defensively to try and slow them down and to stop their progress.
All right. We've talked about how to defend them. What will be the most important things for you to give yourselves a chance to win this game today?
Defense and rebounding obviously are going to be very important for us. We got to make sure we value possessions on both ends of the floor. So like I mentioned, defensively, we got to make sure we force them into one contested shot. They're good enough already offensively. We don't need to give them 2 chances to score. And then when we convert to offense, try to attack early in transition, but I'm not going to say work the clock, but we got to make sure we work their defense, and we're trying to take very good shots every time down. But that's what we're trying to do every game. So just trying to generate efficient looks, try to get to the free throw line. And we've done a lot better job of taking care of the basketball as of late, and we got to continue that today.
Casey, thank you. Good luck today.
Thanks, David.
Coming up, starting lineups in the opening tip from Sioux Falls on the S&P Health Ave Maria pregame. It's Jamestown and Minnesota State on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Johnny B's Brickhouse, famous for their pizza, but wait, there's pasta, and their amazing wings, and fresh ground hamburgers, tasty salads and appetizers too. And for dessert, you can't beat their sweet sticks. Come on out for Tuesday night trivia and live entertainment every Thursday night. The place to be is Johnny B's, smack dab in the middle of Main Street, downtown Jamestown. And remember, for delivery and carryout, call 952-8777.
The Ullman Center, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Jamestown Jimmies, and the Minnesota State Mavericks in the first game of the 4 here in the Bill Gross Classic. Before we get to our starting lineups here in the S&P Alt Ave Maria pregame show, and maybe wondering, well, they had the travel the team did on Thanksgiving Day. Did they get any Thanksgiving dinner? Oh, did they get some Thanksgiving dinner? Because Garrett Colbeck's parents live in T, which is just south of Sioux Falls, and they had a wonderful time. They were nice enough to invite us in too, and the Colbecks were just wonderful to us. They're sitting right behind us up here with all of their family, and Garrett, of course, has rarely played, but is so important to this program still, because just like football, you got to have a scout team, and Garrett's a part of that. But the Colbecks were just marvelous to the team last night.
I think you and I are still in a food coma, which is okay. Let's hope the guys are not in a food coma anymore. But what a wonderful meal, wonderful opportunity to just hang out as a team, as a group, and it was a lot of fun.
All right, here on the S&P Alt Ave Maria pregame, it's time for the Pit Stop Express Lube starting lineups. Jamestown's designated as the visiting team today. Shooting forward, if you will, Owen Heckner, the 6'8", 215-pound junior from Fargo, the MSU Moorhead transfer, 13.4 points, 4 rebounds per game, trying to get the shooting from the field back going, but he's still 40% on threes, and now after all making all those free throws last Saturday night, he's 21 of 27 at the foul line. Jimmy Linus, the 6'8", 210-pound fifth-year senior from Port St. Lucie, Florida, the St. Xavier University transfer, 9.5 points, 7 rebounds a game, is third in the league, shooting 67% from the floor. That's second in the league, and he's 9 with blocks, second in the league, 100 as a Jimmy. In the backcourt, Cole Glasgow in the wing, the 6'2", 200-pound redshirt sophomore from Grimes, Iowa, 7.6 points, 4.6 rebounds, 1.4 steals a game, tied for sixth in the league. Silas Benyon, the 6'1", 186-pound senior from Eugene, Oregon, who was, as usual, at a loss for words. No, never. 14.4 points per game, 4 rebounds. He's tied for third in the NSA in scoring. 2.9 assists per game, is fifth in the league. And Will Cordes on the point, the 5'11", 185-pound fifth-year senior from Shakopee, Minnesota, 5.7 points, 2.4 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, third in the league. And, oh, yeah, he's the top foul shooter now in the NSAA. He's 19 of 20. Casey Brueggemann, the head coach of the Jimmies in his first season. Takdak is his assistant. Carter Jansen, the graduate assistant, or as we are who his friends call him, Chuck. For the Minnesota State Mavericks, Caden Kirkman, basically they have a four-guard offense, but Caden Kirkman is their forward, 6'8", 220-pound sophomore, Wilton, Iowa. He is an Augustana transfer, and he had a good year here last year and is starting well at his new school, 10 points and 8.3 rebounds per game. Justin Egan's 6'3", 195-pound fifth-year senior guard from Downers Grove, Illinois, 11.6 points and 4 rebounds. Will Opsahl, a 6'7", 185-pound redshirt freshman from Goodhue, Minnesota, 9.7 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 40% on three, starting well in his first college experience. Harrison Broada, 6'2", 175-pound senior from Overland Park, Kansas, 11 points, 2.6 boards a game. And Kyrese Willingham, their hero in the national championship game win a year ago, 6'5", 210-pound senior from Waseca, Minnesota, 12.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2.9 assists per game. And off the bench, they have David Harmon, a junior, who averages 10. Malcolm Jones, a junior, who averages 8.4. Carson Schweim, a freshman, who averages 7. So this team's deep. Matt Morgenthaler, the head coach of the Mavericks in his 24th season, 488 wins, 211 losses, and ABC D2 Coach of the Year a year ago. Mike Scott is his associate head coach. Carson Aaronholtz, the assistant. Isaac Fink, the graduate assistant. Sean Pickle is the student assistant. Jamestown in orange mainly today, with blue numerals and letters in white trim. Minnesota State in their mainly white uniforms with purple numerals and purple and gold trim. That's the S&P Alt Ave Maria pregame. Stay tuned. It's Jamestown and Minnesota State coming up from Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
The Jamestown Country Club wants to thank you for a great season that lasted so far into the fall. It's never too early to think about next year's season, though. Hey, make it a Christmas present for that golfer in your life. Buy one today and have the best gift taken care of for the season. Contact the Jamestown Country Club at jcc58401@gmail.com and request your gift registration today. Have a happy holiday season from the Jamestown Country Club.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Building a business requires strength, courage, and a solid reputation. So, when you're ready to build a building to house your business or remodel your existing business, you want the same qualities in your commercial construction contractor. And that's where Hillerud Construction comes in. Trusted, experienced builders who specialize in commercial building construction. Their experience saves you time, stress, and money. So visit HillerudConstruction.com and let's get building.
Forecast details from Ag Central. Meteorologist Mick Care for today. Sunny and cold. Cold wind chills. Highs 5 to 10 above. Winds 5 to 15, gusting to 20. Creating wind chills in that 15 to 25 below range. Tonight, clear and cold. Winds diminishing. Lows 5 to 10 below. Wind chills 15 to 20 below. Tomorrow, sunny and cold. Highs 5 to 10 above again, but without the biting breeze. Northwest winds only about 5. Sunday and Monday, cloudy, a little less cold. Highs near 15. Lows near 5 above. For more weather anytime, log on to newsdakota.com.
Jamestown Jimmies and Sioux Falls, South Dakota to play the first of 2 in the Bill Groves Classic against Minnesota State with B.J. Walters. I'm David Pearl. I know it's a word we've said a lot in our S&P Health Ave Maria pregame, but it's probably the big key for the Jimmies today, and that's rebounding.
You have to rebound the basketball, and what I mean by that is you have to play good defense, force a tough shot, and then you can't let a team that averages 13 offensive rebounds a game go and get offensive rebounds. You absolutely have to make it one and done. The other thing, and I really do think this is important in a game like this, we're getting extra media breaks because we're in a D2 arena. Break the game into 5-minute segments. Do not try to win the game in the first 5 minutes. Be in the game after 5. Be even more in the game after 10. The longer you're in the game, the more a Division II team begins to say, well, something is wrong. This is not how this is supposed to go. So just break it into 5-minute segments and play well for each of those 5 minutes.
Silas Benyon, Cole Glasgow, Jimmy Linus, Owen Heckner, Will Cordes for Jamestown, Kyrese Willingham, Harrison Broadus, Will Upsaw, Caden Kirkman, Justin Egan start for Minnesota State. It's Kirkman and Linus to jump center. Jimmies will move at the basket to our left in the first half. Linus taps it back to Owen Heckner. We hope you enjoy the action from Sioux Falls. And it's Heckner at the top of the right wing with Willingham all over him. High post Jimmy Linus. Kirkman guards him. Hand back to Silas Benyon. Left wing, right pass. Heckner caught it. He's in the circle. Hands it left side again to Benyon. Justin Egan's is guarding him. Right corner, Heckner, a lob for Linus. Down low, pass. Kirkman banks it in.
And Jimmy with that basket has hit 15 of his last 17. I like that they drew something up for him right out of the gates today.
So the Jimmies score first, 35 seconds into the game. Minnesota State's first possession of the bucket to our right. Down low, pass in the post to Willingham, he said. And in the shot missed, rebound by Heckner. Too much Thanksgiving turkey. Heckner handed it back to Linus, and now on the right wing, it is Heckner baseline, trying to ward off Opsahl. Handed to Linus again. Angle on the right wing to Benyon. Cross-court left wing to Heckner. 1 minute gone in the game. Heckner with a hand again to Glasgow. Now back to Cole. Down to 7 on the shot clock. 6 and 5. Cordes looking for a screen from Heckner. 3-2. A fadeaway 3 is short by Cordes, and it's out of bounds to Minnesota State. And the defense forced the Jimmies into a tough possession there.
Just didn't really get in offense until there was about 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Good job by the Mavericks on that possession.
Kept forcing the ball out above the arc. Kirkman for Minnesota State. Right wing on the angle. Up top again, it's Harrison Broadus. Bounce for a drive by Kirkman. Cut off. And a turnaround hook over Linus. No good. Good defense there by Jimmy Linus. And he gained the rebound to Will Cordes and into the front court. Cordes, middle of the right wing, Cole Glasgow. Right wing on the angle, Jimmy Linus for Jamestown. Now pass in the left corner for Benyon. Fake the three. Drove past Egan's, but then missed the layup. Linus offensive board, and it rolled in.
That is such a nice play, and it's all because of the ball reversal from the right wing to the left wing corner. Got the defense way over to one side.
Good shot fake there, too, by Silas Benyon. 4-0 Jamestown. 2:05 in on the Gunner Sports scoreboard. A three, the first three of the game for Justin Egan's. He's good, a 32% three-point shooter. It's 4-3.
And just a quick shot off the quick screen. Nothing you can really do about that.
Here's a lob down low, an entry pass intended for Linus, knocked away and out of bounds by Kirkman. It'll stay with Jamestown with 20 on the shot clock.
That's a good job by Kirkman because he was out of position and he just hustled over to knock the ball out of bounds.
In the left corner to the left of the Minnesota State bench, down to our left. Cordes brings it in to Silas Benyon. Back in the corner for Cordes. Broadus follows him. Middle of the left wing, Heckner. Back up top again to Cole Glasgow with a drive on Willingham to the baseline. Trying to get into the bucket. Willingham cuts it off well. Still drives under him. Draws a foul. Oh, boy. That is stick-to-itiveness there by Cole Glasgow to draw the first foul of the game. And that's on Kyrese Willingham. And he played well last Saturday despite some foul trouble in their win over Minnesota Morris.
Yeah, he had 2 fouls in about a minute and then picked up his 3rd foul in the first half. But they still were able to win by 31 points.
Cole Glasgow misses the first free throw. Now 8 of 12 for the year. The Jimmies, with that great game against Northern State, are up to 76% for the season. That's best in the NSAA. Glasgow hits the second, and Jamestown's lead 5-3 over Minnesota State. 17:20 left in the first half. So glad to have you with us, and hope you're keeping warm on this day after Thanksgiving. It's a hand to Justin Egan's. Stops in the circle. Right wing for Broadus. Now to Kirkman on the right baseline. Caden with a fadeaway. Hit it over Linus. Good. You can't defend that shot.
No, I mean, Jimmy did everything he could. Just a real good shot, and then they beat him down the floor.
Or a left wing three that's just short by Heckner, and the rebound to Broadus in Minnesota State as the Mavericks look for their first lead. Screen by Kirkman lets Willingham drive down the left lane line and bank it in.
Willingham loves to get to that left hand, David. We were at shoot-around last night. That's all they talked about. Don't let him get left.
Now, just too quick there for the Jimmies to do anything about it. Minnesota State has their first lead at 7-5. In the lane, Cordes hands it out in the middle, top of the left wing to Glasgow, and Walters will be into the next dead ball for the Jimmies. Handoff from Benyon to Heckner. Right wing down to 10 on the shot clock again as Glasgow tries to drive on Willingham. Now to Heckner. Boy, they're still way out above the arc. Benyon with 2 men in his face. Got off a three and missed it and rebounded by Kirkman. You can see what Minnesota State's trying to do. Force the Jimmies outside as much as they can. Will Opson on the right side for Harrison Broadus. Into the lane. He stops and knocks over Glasgow. They didn't call it. First shot missed. Second shot missed. Rebound Linus. Casey Brueggemann was sure there should have been an offensive foul, especially if they were being called, but nothing was. Benyon out front to Linus. A long three. Benyon for about 27 is off the right rim and rebounded by Will Opsall for Minnesota State.
But that's a shot you're okay with because Silas is playing with confidence.
Justin Egan's for the Mavericks. Backs up, spots up, hits a three.
Quick 7-0 run here for Minnesota State, and they have a 10-5 lead.
He's a 32% three-point shooter, Egan's. They've scored the last 7, in fact, 15-19 in the first half. Will Cordes for Jamestown. Middle of the right wing, Benyon with that headband. Drives all the way to the rim and scores.
Wow, he just gets right by Justin Egan's with just a simple right-handed dribble to the baseline.
First 2 for Silas, 10-7 Minnesota State, 5 minutes into the game. Have a timeout in the next head ball. Kirkman with a hand to Egan's. Backs up for another three. Hit it again. Look out.
That's 3 of them for Egan's already.
And it is 13-7 for Minnesota State. We have 14:40 to go in the first half of the Gunner Sports scoreboard. Linus with a right wing feed. Heckner backs takes up or Glasgow, I should say. It's Glasgow that drains the three.
And that's his second of the year. He came in 1 for 7, and that cuts the lead right in half.
And it is 13-10 now for Minnesota State. Egan's with a bounce in the right baseline to Willingham. Cut off well again. On the left side, pass intercepted. Glasgow got in the way of the pass to Opsahl and drove for a layup and took an extra step. The Jimmies turn it over. And Walters, Hunter Lyman will come in after a Hillerud construction timeout. Minnesota State with a 13-10 lead over Jamestown on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard, and 14:09 remains in the first half in Sioux Falls on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com.
Your home for UJ Jimmies. AM 1400 KQDJ Jamestown and 107.1 K296 HH Jamestown.
Whether you're a weekend warrior or a top high school athlete, injuries can happen to anyone. At Jamestown Regional Medical Center, getting you back to what you love is why we're here. As the official sports medicine provider for Blue Jay Athletics, our local orthopedic experts ensure exceptional care is part of your community. From sprains to complex surgeries, you don't have to go far to get the best care. Call 952-4878 and schedule your appointment today. Remember, it's right here at JRMC.
Good start to this one. Really the only difference early on, David, is the three-point shooting. Minnesota State has gotten 3 from Egan's, and Jamestown just 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. Aside from that, not a lot of difference.
Good run for Minnesota State to put them up. Now they are up at 3 at 13-10. And Egan's with a hand to Malcolm Jones, who's just entered the game. Now he drives to the baseline and scores.
Got just inside of Hunter Lyman and got himself to the basket for the right-handed layup. Keep in mind what we talked about in pregame. They play about 7. All 7 can score for the Mavericks.
Anthony Walters up top for Jamestown, who's down 15-10. Pass out for Heckner on the angle. He starts to drive on Carson Swai. Middle right wing 3, Cordes. Oh, short again. Rebounded by Malcolm Jones. He's a 6'8 junior from Prior Lake, Minnesota. 8.4 points, 5.1 rebounds per game. David Harmon, who has the ball now. He's from Omaha, and he lost it, and it's deflected away. Good play by Cole Glasgow, and the Jimmies take it. Cordes left wing on Heckner. 3, bottom!
And that starts with a great defensive play by Cole Glasgow. He's already got 2 steals in the game, and Jamestown has answered, down by just 2.
No, he's over his average. 1.4 is in the top 10 in the league. 15-13 Minnesota State, 12:55 in the half. Malcolm Jones left wing on the catch. Back up top to Carson Schwein. Now on the right wing for Justin Egan's. Into the corner for Kyrese Willingham, who hits a 3, the 4th of the game for Minnesota State.
He's hit that shot before in a much bigger moment.
18-13 for Minnesota State over Jamestown. Glasgow lost it. Willingham with a steal. 1 on 3. Kyrese takes it anyway and glides in and lays it in.
Really nice play by Kyrese Willingham because he just takes an off step to the right and goes left.
Pass for Anthony Walters on the left wing. A 7-point Minnesota State lead. Left corner, Heckner short with a 3. Tried to run the rebound down, could not. And it'll go to Minnesota State. Well, what BJ is referring to is that Kyrese Willingham, in the spot where he was just now, in the right corner at the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana, last March, hit the game-winning 3 with 0.8 of a second to go to give Minnesota State that NCAA Division II National Championship, 88-85 over Nova Southeastern, and what was a really fun game to watch.
Sure was.
Very entertaining. Those D2 championship games the last decade have, for the most part, just been classics. Drew Daniel has entered the game for Minnesota State. Hands it to Carson Schwein. Double team. Brings it back out for a shot on the left wing for a 3. That's good by David Harmon.
This team comes in shooting the ball just fine from threes, but 29%. They are 5 of 5.
Yeah, they're pretty low in their league, but you wouldn't know it today. 23-13, just like that. Minnesota State, 11:29 and a half on the Gun Real Sports scoreboard. Walters spins once, spins twice, past Chase Bartlett, out to Heckner at 3, but that didn't go. Offensive board, Hunter Lyman down low and got hacked by Malcolm Jones, and Hunter will head to the line. A good rebound there by Hunter Lyman.
What if I told you that right now Jamestown is out offensive rebounding Minnesota State?
I'll be darned.
The difference is literally that Minnesota State right now cannot miss a three-point shot.
Well, yeah, 5 for 5 certainly helps. Hunter Lyman at the line. The first is good for Hunter, the VCSU transfer. 1.9 points, 4.4 rebounds per game. He's now 4 of 8 at the line, 23-14 Jamestown. Aiden Stainbrook makes his first appearance for the Jimmies. 6'6", 185-pound redshirt freshman from Pembina, 4.3 points per game, 7 made threes. Both free throws good for Hunter Lyman, and now Jimmy Linus comes back in for him. And it's 23-15 Minnesota State leading Jamestown 11-19 in the first half. Let's set Minnesota State's 5. Malcolm Jones with David Harmon, Drew Daniel, and Chase Bartlett, along with Carson Schwein. This is David Harmon down the right lane line. Over Linus, falls away, tough shot, missed, offensive board. Linus blocked it out of the hand of Malcolm Jones. Jimmy with another block. That's 187 for his collegiate career, including St. Xavier. 101 now as a Jimmy. And Walters, pass right wing. Stainbrook wants a 3. Bottom for Aiden.
And Aiden, a good three-point shooter at 30%. That's his 8th of the year.
That's what he was doing up in North Border, too. A lot, along with rebounding a lot. 23-18. Jamestown down 5 to Minnesota State. This is Harmon. Left wing for Schwein. Back up front to David Harmon. Now for Chase Bartlett. He's a junior from Pleasant Hill, Iowa. Handed out to Harmon. Down to 5 on the Minnesota State shot clock, and they're not in their offense yet. A 3 right wing is off the rim by Daniel, and they just got that away in time. And then a foul as Malcolm Jones, in a little frustration, put a hack on a Jimmy as he went down floor. It's 2 on him.
And Minnesota State's going to go line change and bring in their starters.
Yep, Willingham, Broadus, Opsall, Kirkman, Egan's all back in. The Jimmy 5 at the moment with Spencer Barr just into the game. The 5'11 sophomore from Aberdeen, South Dakota, 2.6 points a game, 6 threes. He's out there with Silas Benyon, Jimmy Linus, Aiden Stainbrook, and Anthony Walters. Bounce pass to Stainbrook from Jimmy Linus for a layup. That's just beautiful.
That is such good awareness of where you are on the floor. We saw a pass like that Saturday. Jimmy, another beauty right there.
Hey, after being down 10, the Jimmies have scored 7 in a row. It's 23-20 Minnesota State. Egan's right wing on the angle into the right corner. It's Will Opsall. Hand for Willingham, but Walters in his way to foul him. And that's the first on him. In fact, that's the first foul of the game on the Jimmies, and it leads us to a Hillerud Construction timeout. Thank you for being my red cat, BJ. 23-20 Minnesota State with 9:42 left in the first half here at Augustana University in Sioux Falls. On Jamestown 107.1, this is the voice of the Jimmies.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
When you're working outdoors, unpredictability is the norm, so tackle your toughest jobs with the 2025 Honda Pioneer 700. This rugged side-by-side brings power to any party with reliable torque for towing and smooth shifting for the trails. Choose between 3 trims, Standard, Deluxe, or the True Timber Forest Edition for ultimate backwoods adventures. See the 2025 Honda Pioneer 700 today at Gun & Reel Sports, 1st Street West, downtown Jamestown. For your safety, read the owner's manual, wear helmet, eye protection, close side nets and doors, and always wear seatbelts. Honda side-by-sides are for riders 18 and older.
Back in Sioux Falls, 23-20 Mavericks. What if I told you, David, second chance points 4-0 Jamestown right now on 2 offensive rebounds. They've converted both offensive rebounds.
And again, I made the point going into the break to go nearly 10 minutes, over 10 minutes in without committing a foul. That's pretty good too. Here's Egan's for Minnesota State. Kirkman rubbed off on a screen. Egan's with a jumper missing. Jimmy Linus the rebound for Jamestown. 47% shooting for the Jimmies, 7 of 15. Minnesota State now at 9 of 17. Drive to the limb, and Benyon scores off another nice feed.
That is about as nice as it gets with the finger roll, and this is a 9-0 run.
23-22 for Minnesota State. Here's a jumper that is short by Broadus, brought in by Jamestown. The Jimmies have a chance to regain the lead. Yeah, it was 23-13. It's 9 in a row as BJ said for Jamestown. Linus with a hand to Spencer Barr, playing in his home state. And a drive to the rim, scores, and is fouled, and the Jimmies lead again. 24-23, the foul is on Kirkman. That's his first, and 4 team fouls on Minnesota State. And you said it, the fight back by this team is pretty impressive.
And just the threat of Jimmy Linus on a pick and roll, the hesitation by the defender, that's all Spencer needed to see.
First free throw of this season for Spencer Barr is good. 25-23 Jamestown. They've scored 12 in a row. 8:45 left in the first half. Caden Kirkman for Minnesota State. They have not scored in a good while. Justin Egan's left wing now for Will Upsall. Middle of that wing, Kyrese Willingham for a left wing three is good by Upsall, and that breaks the drought.
That was their first field goal in 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
26-25 Minnesota State. And the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard, 8:19 in the first half. Anthony Walters trying to ward off Willingham. Stops in the lane, comes mid-right wing, long three, Barr near the sideline, missed, and Egan's in for the rebound. Well, Spencer saw the shot he liked. It was about 29 feet away. Egan's for Minnesota State. Justin hands it to Harrison. Broadus down the right lane line. Held up, and a held ball. It'll stay with Minnesota State, but a good play by Silas Benyon.
Really nice play because he gets his hand in late. You're always taught as a defender, don't do anything until the offensive player is in the air. He waited and made a great play.
19 on Minnesota State's shot clock. A lob in from Broadus to Caden Kirkman. Now for Will Upsall. Benyon tried to strip it away, couldn't. Right wing three by Egan, so he missed one. And the rebound put back up by Upsall and blocked into the seats by Jimmy Linus. Minnesota State will keep it.
I love the defensive intensity right now from UJ. They are really, nothing is coming easy for Minnesota State.
2 blocks by Jimmy. He had 86 in 2 seasons at St. Xavier. Now 102 as a Jimmy. Drive into the lane. Left-hand scoop is nice and good by Egan's.
Not sure he had to go teardrop, but that was kind of pretty.
It was stylish, and he has 11 points at Minnesota State's 28. 28-25. Minnesota State over Jamestown. 7.5 minutes left in the first half on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Lob to Linus on a high post with Kirkman following him. Now to Anthony Walters. And with the pink shoes, backs it up mid-right wing, and then pass intended for Stainbrook, knocked out of bounds by Justin Egan. 16 on Jamestown's shot clock as they'll inbound.
Been very much a half of punch, counter punch.
Which I think is a good sign for Jamestown. Lob to Linus from Benyon, turns around against Kirkman, finds Stainbrook left baseline, back for Jimmy, drives, and Linus scores.
That is, again, just beautiful ball movement. And right now, David, 7 assists on 10 field goals.
6 for Jimmy, 28-27 for Minnesota State at 6:57 and a half. Egan's right of the lane, double team awaits him, left corner open is Upsall. History is good. That's his second.
Good ball reversal. Both of his threes have come off ball reversals, and so the lead is 4.
31-27 for Minnesota State. 6:40 and a half. Benyon mid-right wing. Stainbrook fade away. A three is down the bottom of the well. And a timeout by Jamestown. Aiden Stainbrook has hit a couple of threes. It's a 30-second Hillary Construction timeout, so we'll keep it here with 6:36 left in the half. And Minnesota State leading Jamestown 31-30.
I mean, every part of this first half is absolutely fine if you're the Jimmies. You're being out-rebounded, but it's 10-8. You're shooting 55%. And again, I'll repeat it, the only reason why you're behind in this game is because the Mavericks are 7 of 9 from beyond the arc. This is the 15th best three-point shooting team in the NSIC. There are 15 teams in the NSIC.
Yeah, 29% is not going to get it done these days. But as we say, I say, don't let this team's record fool you. They've had a tough schedule. They lost, as BJ said, they lost their one conference game to a good Southwest team. Stainbrook with 8 points for Jamestown. 2 threes. Jimmy Linus, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 assists. Justin Egan's 11 for Minnesota State, who has the ball now up 31-36, 25 on the half. Kyrie Swillingham, mid-right wing, guarded by Benyon, now back out front to Malcolm Jones, who's returned to the game. Hand to Harrison Broadus, fade away from 16, straight away missed. Willingham, the offensive board, 2 passes. Jones had it blocked out of his hand by Anthony Walters, who shrieks in delight. It'll stay with the Mavericks, but what a play Ant made.
They're going to love this game film to this point because every time there's been an offensive rebound, the Mavericks think it's an easy layup, and it continues to get swatted all the way to, Yankton.
Hunter Lyman, Owen Heckner, Will Cordes, Cole Glasgow, all back in the Jamestown lineup. They join Spencer Barr. Minnesota State inbounds. It's to Willingham, right of the lane, guarded by Owen Heckner. Kai Reese with a spin hole, reaching around and fouling him before the shot went in is Heckner. He wrapped him up like a Christmas present. His first foul and the second on the Jimmies.
Well, they have been talking about don't let him go left.
Yeah.
Took that a little literally there.
Yeah. But they that's what they kept stressing here on the shoot-around last night. A spot up, back up, fadeaway 3 is good by Broadus. Good night. 34-30 Minnesota State with 5:53 in the half.
80% from 3 right
8
now.
8 of 10. Bounced to Lyman in a high post, working on Malcolm Jones. Right wing Owen Heckner. For Barr in the middle of the left wing for Will Cordes. Egan's out to guard him. 10 on the shot clock. Left wing on the angle, it is Cole Glasgow. Drives, now backs it up for a 3 by Heckner off the right rim, and coming down with the long board is Harrison Broadus for Minnesota State. Into the front court basket to our right. Using a Jones screen to Willingham on the left wing. Handed to Will Opsahl. Now for Harrison Broadus, guarded by Barr. On the switch, Lyman on him, comes all the way under the bucket. Now back out to the foul line. And a lob that didn't make it to Jones, and taken away by Spencer Barr. Pass a little too low. Barr into the front court with a spin. Right lane line. Stops, 12 feet. Spencer's good, and a good start for him today.
Really good spark off the bench coming from Spencer Barr. At the other end, too much dribbling. Just way too much dribbling.
34-32 Minnesota State. On the Egan's right wing 3. Only missed another one. Only their third miss from 3. Rebound Glasgow. Jimmy's with a chance to tie our lead. Down 34-32, 4:41 and a half. Glasgow will have a timeout the next head ball. It's up top to Will Cordes. And up on the right wing, it is for Glasgow. Left wing Heckner for a 3 in the lead. It's too long, and Lyman is held as he tried to run the rebound down by a disbelieving Malcolm Jones. That's his third in not a lot of minutes.
That's all effort.
Yeah.
That's just all effort from Hunter Lyman. Well done.
And he just had the position. There was nothing Jones could do except commit his third foul. And we have a Hilderwood Construction timeout. 4:28 in the first half. A good one to start it here in Sioux Falls. Minnesota State 34, Jamestown 32 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Sign-on bonuses, $10,000 for full-time RNs or LPNs working PM or NOC shifts, and $10,000 for full-time NOC weekend package positions, and $5,000 for part-time PM shifts. Also offering $5,000 for full-time CNAs working PM shifts or weekend package, day, PM, or NOC shifts. Dietary positions available also. Apply at smphealth.org/Ave Maria.
I was told by Minnesota State people They better not sleep on it, or they're going to have a tough time. And I wouldn't say they're sleeping on it, but Jamestown's giving them a tough time.
I would say Jamestown is outplaying Minnesota State right now. Rebounding 13-9 Mavericks. They've now got 6 offensive rebounds, but 6 offensive rebounds leading to looks like 5 second chance points. Points in the paint, it's Jamestown plus 6. I mean,
how about that?
Right now, if you can have a final 4:28 of this first half and play as well as you have the rest of the half, you're going to feel awfully good going into the locker room.
And again, to commit 2 fouls in 15:32. I always talk about that fine line between playing defense well and fouling, and the Jimmies are on the right side of it so far. Benyon to Owen Heckner, up top to Benyon for Jamestown, down a deuce. Left wing Cordes. Trying to fake his way past David Harmon, who just re-entered. 10 on the shot clock, way out front again to Benyon. Minnesota State forcing him way out above the arc again. Hand to Cordes in the lane, left corner. Benyon, a 3 at the end of the shot clock, is short. Could be again, and run down by Caden Kirkman for Minnesota State as the Mavericks keep their lead. Hand it to Carson Schwein. Now for Kirkman, who's bumped into by Jimmy Linus, who tried to get position and instead bumped him with the shoulder. Nope, Silas Benyon's who it's on. That's his first in the Jimmy's 13 foul.
But you know what? That's okay because you have them to give. I mean, you can play really physical here in these last 4 minutes.
Still 3 fouls to give. Kirkman again. High post, right wing. Linus now fronts him, but he spins, turns around, and hits from 14.
That's a good post move. Really nice post move by Kirkman.
I remember the days when 6'8" guys couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah.
Now they all do that. 36-32 Minnesota State, 3:30. Cordes, left wing Benyon, wide open 3, but missed. Egan's had fallen down. Battle for the rebound came to Minnesota State and Willingham. Left wing, a 3 on the break is off the mark by Carson Schwein, and Jimmy Linus rebounds for Jamestown. To Benyon. Left baseline, good catch of a very high pass by Heckner in the right corner. Way high, Heckner had to leap to get it. Drives on Schwein, turns around, hook off the glass, didn't fall. Rebound tip, who to go off last? I think Jimmy, no, went off
of the Mavericks,
Minnesota State player as Anthony Walters returns.
Big 3 minutes. You don't want to allow another counter punch by Minnesota State right before the break.
Right now with 3:01 left in the half, Minnesota State 36, Jamestown 32 on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard. BJ and David with you from the Elman Center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hand to Anthony Walters for Jamestown. In orange at the bucket to our left. Down the right baseline, past Willingham, drives, got it blocked. He let Willingham catch up back to him, rebound is tipped and came back out to Benyon. Right corner 3, good by Walters with 5 on the timer.
So you don't get the 2, you get the 3 instead. I think you make that trade.
Not a bad trade, I guess. 36-35 Minnesota State. First 3 for Anthony. 2:34 in the half. Caden Kirkman, hand out front to Kyrie Willingham again. Now a Kirkman screen. Willingham cut off by Walters. Handed for David Harmon out front. Willingham at angle 3 on the right side. Halfway down the rim and out. Anthony Walters the rebound. Jimmy's look to regain the lead. Front court left wing. Anthony, the young man from Rosedale. That's a neighborhood in Queens, New York. For Will Cordes. Out front to Silas Benyon. To Cordes again, 2:05 in the half. Bounce to Linus right baseline. Up top, Owen Heckner. Owen with a spin. 8 on the shot clock. Linus with a hand to Benyon. Fake the shot. Behind the back pass. Got knocked out of bounds by Jamestown. The shot clock was running down. I don't think he was doing it to show off. He's just trying to get the ball to Jimmy Linus.
And I have to tell you, the fact that he's willing to do that, one of the things that is a big part of this program now under Casey is you need to play with confidence. Okay, I think he's all right.
That shows it.
Yeah.
He does that. He tells you everything. He's a good kid. Up top to Kirkman for Minnesota State down the right lane line. Pan drives on Linus and banks it in. And Kirkman's just a tough dude.
He is. You can't do anything different if you're Jimmy right there. That was great defense.
6 for him. 38-35 Minnesota State. 1:25 in the half. Heckner up top to Anthony Walters for the Jimmies. Down to 1:20 in the half. Here's a drive to the baseline, past a double team, and Walters uses a layup and uses his strength.
I genuinely do not believe they can guard Anthony Walters one-on-one.
I wouldn't want to. 38-37 Minnesota State, 104 in the half. Into the lane, a left-hand teardrop is good by Egan's from 13.
Egan's is having a great half. He comes in averaging 11 and a half. He's got 13.
54 and a half seconds left in the half. Minnesota State 40, Jamestown 37. Portis with a bounce for Jimmy Linus. Hand off to Binion for a lob in for Linus. Down low and just drives in on Kirkman and says, I can do that too. He scores.
Guess what? Jimmy is 4 of 4. He has made, what is that now, 18 of his last 20.
Goodness, and 8 points. 40-39 Minnesota State. 28 seconds in the half. A three by Egan's. He's hot, and he hit another one. Woo! His fourth. 43-39 Minnesota State. 16 seconds in the half. He's hit 4 threes. 13 seconds, 12. The shot clock's off as Cordes crosses the timeline on the Viking logo. Lob to Linus, 6 seconds and 5. Jimmy hands it left wing Walters. A three-pointer with 3 is good by Anthony as the first half comes to an end. 2 threes for Anthony Walters. He ends the first half with 8, and the Jimmies in the half are within 1 of the reigning D2 national champs.
Every one of these players should be walking off the court doing the "Are you not entertained" pose, because that was outstanding.
Is that what you were showing me there? The "Are you not entertained" pose? Very good.
Yep.
What a good first half this was. The Jimmies played well. Minnesota State didn't play badly, shot very well, but we have a game in the first game of the Bill Gross Classic at the Elman Center at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Halftime score in the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard: Minnesota State's Mavericks 43, the Jamestown Jimmies 32. RM Stout brought you our opening tip of today's game. You know, RM Stout is your Ford Dodge and Jeep dealer in Jamestown. And they'll bring you our halftime report next on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
It's Zach here from Apex Physical Therapy and Wellness Center with exciting news that we are now open in our brand new location at 805 5th Avenue Northeast in Jamestown. That's right, we have a brand new space to help you out with your neck, back, hip, knee, shoulder pain, and so much more. It's the same great Apex you've loved, now with an incredible new space. If you haven't tried Apex, you really need to come see us. Give us a call today to come see us at 701-952-2739.
Quick Lane Jamestown is looking to add to their dynamic team of auto maintenance technicians. Business continues to grow, and they need to expand their staff. Are you a mechanical soul who'd like to work in a modern, clean, and busy shop? Light-duty work includes oil changes, tire rotates, vehicle inspections, maintenance and upkeep, and more. While working alongside an experienced team, and did we mention you get to work in an air-conditioned and heated shop? Competitive wages and benefits offered. Apply online through Facebook or stoutcars.com. Call 701-252-2270 or simply stop by. Claim your career today at RM Stout.
You know you don't really want that hurry-up, bought on the cheap, not sure what I got insurance coverage. Good, because Farmers Union insurance agents do things just a little different. We'll work with you personally for home, auto, business, or farm insurance and tailor the exact coverage plan you need, because we're not satisfied until you are. Different, you bet. Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Good luck to the Blue Jays and Jimmies from your local Farmers Union agent, Steve Binion.
Not all products underwritten by Farmers Union Insurance.
Halftime, and what a first half it's been in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Minnesota State Mavericks leading the Jamestown Jimmies by only a point, 43-42. The RM Stout halftime report. RM Stout, the right choice since 1941. With BJ Walters, David Burrell, thank you for joining us. Well, we saw it, but the numbers tell us so. This was just an extremely well-played first half for both sides. The scoring, first for Minnesota State, Justin Egan's. He had the hot hand, hit 4 of 6 threes, 16 points, 6 of 9 shooting overall for him, and he also had 4 assists. Kyrese Willingham with 7, 3 of 5 shooting, and a couple of rebounds also. 6 points for Caden Kirkman, and he was 3 of 4. 3 for Harrison Broadus, 3 for David Harmon, and 2 for Malcolm Jones. For Jamestown, they went with their rotation of 9 in the first half. 8 of them scored. 8 points each for Jimmy Linus, Anthony Walters, and Aiden Stainbrook. Linus, 4 out of 4, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 more blocks. Walters, 3 out of 4, hit both of his threes. Stainbrook played only 5 minutes in scoring that 8 points. 3 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 on threes. 5 points for Spencer Barr in just under 7 minutes. And a couple of threes. He had a 3-point play, 4 for Silas Benyon, only 2 for 7 for him in the first half. Cole Glasgow with 4 points. Owen Heckner still trying to get it going from the field, but he did hit a 3 for his 3 points. Will Cordes scoreless in just under 15 minutes. The team stats are these. For Minnesota State, 52% shooting on 17 of 33. 9 of 14 on threes. That's why they're ahead in this game. They never got to the line. Jamestown, 52% shooting, 16 of 31, 6 of 16 on threes. That's 38%, 4 out of 5 at the line. The rebounding, Minnesota State 15, Jamestown 13. And Jamestown has 11 assists on their 16 made field goals. Well played, as we say, from this aspect, too. Only 7 turnovers total in the half, 4 for Jamestown, 3 for Minnesota State. But so far, at least in 20 minutes, the Jimmies are showing they can play with one of the very best in D2.
And they're doing it with their depth players. Points off the bench, 23-5, Jamestown. You mentioned Lyman, Walters, Barr, and Stainbrook, all with a big lift off the bench. I mean, think about this now. Cole Glasgow's played very well in that first half. He's a minus 12. Owen Heckner is a minus 9. So is Will Cordes. Yet, here you are, down by a point. I think if before the game you would have said those players are that far on the minus sign, you probably would have thought, oh my gosh, Jimmies are in a little trouble. They're not in any trouble at all. You mention it, 11 assists on 16 field goals. And look at the line right now for Jimmy. 8.6 boards, 3 assists, no turnovers, and a couple of blocks. He has been all over the place in this first half.
And again, I'll say it, and I know I've said it already a few times, but the fact that they had only 3 fouls in the first half against a team that you know is going to be physical with you, that has such good athletes, that wants to crash the boards, and you commit only 3 fouls, that is a heck of a job.
They're winning paint points, 18-14, the Jimmies. They're winning second chance points, 7-5. I mean, just an outstanding first half. If you do that again in the second half, regardless of outcome, you're going to feel awfully good about yourself after this game.
And they've got to be feeling pretty good right now. They're down at the half to Minnesota State, 43-42 on the Gun & Reel Sports scoreboard. It's the Iron Stout halftime report, and we'll talk about other Jimmy sports, including what's just ahead for the Jimmy women, who are off to a good start, and we'll do that next from Sioux Falls on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
And here we are. North Dakota winter has arrived, and so has winter driving. The tires that were okay for hot, dry pavement are maybe not working so great on frozen, slick roads. Now are they? Bring your vehicle to Mike and the crew at Pit Stop Express Lube and have them take a look. As a locally owned shop, they are more about you and your family's safety than the sale, so they will recommend the best fit for your needs. Stop into Pit Stop Express Lube at 117 4th Street Northwest, Jamestown, or call 952-7867.
Need some custom screen printed t-shirts? Lots of t-shirts? You need originals.
Originals!
Or do you just need one shirt with your corporate logo for the new guy?
Originals!
Caps, jackets, U sizes, adult sizes, Blue Jay apparel, Jimmy apparel. You need originals. There you have it, folks. For custom printed apparel, embroidery, and work apparel, it's Originals. They can also do online stores for your sports team or business. 216 First Avenue, downtown Jamestown. Open 9 to 5 weekdays. Visit originals.com.
Halftime on the Armstown Halftime Report in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. What a fun game this has been so far. Minnesota State leading Jamestown by a score of 43-42. Beach.
This is not something in the box score.
Yeah.
But we went into halftime 10 minutes ago. That means our first half was all of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how good of a first half in terms of pace that we just saw.
That's fun. It really was great fun. Other Jimmy sports first. There's not a whole lot on this Thanksgiving weekend, but besides basketball, The Division II men's hockey team has games at Williston State tomorrow and Saturday. And as we mentioned earlier, the Jimmy women starting well, 4-1. At Harold Newman Arena tomorrow afternoon, it is Midlands Vikings coming in. That'll be a 1 o'clock tip. And then a trip to Montana for Thad Sankey's team next week. And hello, Thad, and hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. I was listening because he just told me he is. But they make a trip to play Montana Western in Dillon, Montana on Thursday, and then Montana Tech in Butte next Saturday afternoon. We'll have both of those games for you here on Jamestown 107.1. No, scratch that. We're going to have one of them for you in Jamestown 107.1. 6 o'clock, that'll be on Thursday from Montana Western, and then we'll be on Q101 from Butte for Montana Tech next Saturday afternoon at 1:30. So make note of that. Thursday, Jamestown 107.1 for the Jimmy women. Saturday afternoon, Q101 for the Montana Tech game in Butte. Yeah, they and I are leaving Tuesday for that because that's a little bit of a trip.
Yeah, and then it really picks up for everybody. We'll get the high school basketball season started Monday to go along with all the action for the Jimmies, and I know high school hockey has already started. So, yeah, it's really going to start picking up.
And, in fact, our next Jamestown Blue Jay hockey action here on Jamestown 107.1, Mark McKenzie will have that on Tuesday from Wilson Arena, when it'll be the second game of the season for the Blue Jay boys. They're starting at Hazen Beulah tomorrow, but Tuesday they'll host Legacy, and that'll be a 7:15 airtime with Mark on Tuesday night right here. After those games in Montana, well, the next one will be that conference opener with Dickinson State for the Jimmy women on the 13th day of December, a Friday. And they'll play, this will be a little tough. They go the very next day to Miles City and play Montana Western again. That'll be their last game before Christmas. And then they have games with Rocky Mountain and the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology in Billings on the 28th and 29th of December. So that's what's ahead for the Jimmy women. And then it is, after that, exclusively NSIC play. And as we've been telling you, 3 games against NSAA play, I should say. I'm getting a year ahead of myself. But as we've been telling you, 3 games against every NSAA opponent this season. We talked about this when we were at the Coolbecks last night. It's a good thing it's not just playing everybody twice, or it really would have been hard to fill out this schedule.
Absolutely. I mean, we were talking about how some of our NSIC teams are lucky that there's only 4 non-conference games and 1 event allowed, because otherwise you end up playing a team like Oak Hills Christian. Yes, I'm talking about the team that North Dakota State beat by 100 last year. I mean, you end up having to schedule someone like that.
Yeah. So it's never an easy thing. But the Jimmy men, again, are in this stretch of 6 in a row against NSIC teams. Augustana, by the way, tomorrow here at 12:30 here on Jamestown 107.1. But, boy, I'm really looking forward to this second half. Minnesota State's up by a point, 43-42. But the Jimmies are proving they can play with a very, very good D2 team.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Northern State game, okay, they were picked 13th. Fine. You can have that argument if you want it. Minnesota State is picked to win the league, and the Jimmies are within a point going to the second half. Now, you know how I feel and how strongly I feel about MSU Moorhead this year.
Yes.
But the Mavericks were picked by 3 points ahead of them.
That's our RM Stout halftime report. What should be a good second half next from Sioux Falls. Minnesota State 43, Jamestown 42. The second half is next on Jamestown 107.1, and this is the voice of the Jimmies.
At Essentia Health, we know that together we can live healthier. We also know that the best way to protect yourself and your loved ones is to get vaccinated. That's why Essentia Health encourages everyone to get a flu shot this fall. Flu season usually starts in October and can last until May, so it's important to get vaccinated early. Vaccines are covered by most insurances and are available for people 6 months of age and older. Schedule your flu shot online today at essentiahealth.org/flu or call your local Essentia Health clinic or pharmacy to learn more.
Buffalo City Diesel Jamestown is your one-stop shop for experienced truck services. Their top-notch techs are trained in the latest technology and can identify and fix problems in your medium or heavy-duty diesel trucks and buses. Buffalo City Diesel also offers roadside assistance, trailer services, and truck parts. Call Buffalo City Diesel today at 701-253-2844. That's Buffalo City Diesel at 701-253-2844.
Well, this second half is going to be awfully interesting, shouldn't it? Elman Center, Augustana University, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Bill Gross Classic. Minnesota State leading Jamestown 43-42 on the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard with B.J. Walters. I'm David Pearl. Happy holidays. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And remember, too, one more thing I got to tell you about, coverage of the Holiday Dazzle Parade with JD tonight at 7 o'clock here on Jamestown 107.1. Again, if you're going, bundle up. It is so cold at home today. It's not warm here either. But JD gets to be inside when he describes all that stuff.
Thank goodness.
No
Although,
kidding.
you know what? Even inside, he might need hand warmers today with how cold it is back home.
Our dear friend and our boss, Lynn Lambrecht, of course, is so involved with the Downtown Association. I said, what you got going? She said, hand warmers aplenty. So
very good.
She'll be all right tonight, but she's going to be busy. Here we go with the second half. Second half throw-in brought to you by RM Stout. And they're your Ford Dodge and Jeep dealer in the Jamestown area. And it's the starting five for both sides. Silas Benyon, Cole Glasgow, Jimmy Linus, Owen Heckner, Will Cordes for Jamestown, Kyrese Willingham, Harrison Broadus, Will Opsahl, Caden Kirkman, and Justin Egan's for Minnesota State. Can the Jimmies pull this off? Well, the win against Northern State was one thing. If they can pull this off today, people are really going to start noticing for next year. But there's still 20 minutes to go. Heckner with a lob down low for Linus. Drives left-hand lay-in off a beautiful pass.
Does that play look familiar? It's also the first one they drew up right at the beginning of the game. Just a perfect pass from Heckner.
Another made field goal for Jimmy. He's 5 for 5, and Jamestown's in the lead again, 44-43. Caden Kirkman on the left baseline on Linus. Moves around him and banks it in on a very difficult move.
Just saw a couple of real nice post moves, one by each big guy.
45-44 Minnesota State. Heckner out front to Linus on a high screen. Now a ball screen and a lob from Benyon back to Jimmy. Down low and blocked out of his hand and out of bounds by Caden Kirkman. Jamestown will keep it with 18 on the shot clock.
That's the only way he misses a shot these days. I was going to make the comment, once he misses, he's not going to know how to react. He's been so efficient.
Cordes will inbound for Jamestown. Down a point. They're the bucket to our right in orange mainly. And black. Drive. Willingham with a block on Heckner on the baseline. Loose ball picked up by Cordes and handed it on the left wing for a three by Heckner that rimmed out Linus, who nearly had that rebound, but it's taken in by Harrison Broadus. And Minnesota State brings it into the front court. Down low, Kirkman. He beat Linus, who did a tumble over him and a foul. And Jimmy hit the floor hard, but he's all right. And right back up, Jimmy was desperate to get back in defensive position on the right block.
That is okay, this is going to sound a little strange.
Yeah?
That is a brilliant play. Okay, they are going to call it a shooting foul. I was going to say.
Absolutely.
If that's not a shooting foul, it is not a shooting foul, I don't guess.
Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it?
I think we have two guys overruling the other guy. That's not a shooting foul.
Jake Studer, Justin Stottlemyre, Gary White, the third are the officials.
He was not going up.
Well.
Yep.
Huh?
That is a brilliant play by Jimmy Linus. I know it's a foul. That is a brilliant play by Jimmy Linus.
And he landed hard right on as the British say, his sit-upon. But he's okay. And a lob to Kirkman out front for Justin Egan's. What a hot hand he had in the first half. Out front to Kyrese Willingham. Right wing line. Bike has passed Heckner. Foul. Linus got a hand on it, but the foul came before that on Owen Heckner. Late whistle, but the right call. And that is his second and the second team foul on the Jimmies.
And that is certainly a shooting foul.
And these will be the first free throws for Minnesota State today. Willingham is 6 for 10. He'd only been to the line one time all year before. He was 6 out of 9 against Morris, and he misses the first one here. That was last Saturday.
That was a wild game, 104-73. My goodness.
Well, they finally got it going. Markin Thaler kind of got into him saying, you're not playing a whole lot of defense in the first half. They did in the second half.
Sir.
Willingham hit the second, 46-44 Minnesota State on the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard with 18:45 to go. Will Cordes, right wing on the angle. Handed to Benyon, top of that wing. Egan's out on him. High post, Jimmy Linus has it now. Hand to Cordes, and a hand back for Benyon. Long three, right wing is off the front rib.
Not a bad look.
Rebound, Minnesota State and Harrison Broadus. For Willingham in the lane. Spins away, fades away. Didn't fall. Rebound fought for on the floor. Tapped, but it came to Egan's for a straightaway three, and the lefty left it short. And Linus up for a strong rebound. Egan's just gets good looks every time he shoots. Glasgow out front for Linus. Now to Silas Benyon. A bounce to Linus. Drop the ball. Ooh. Good bounce pass, but Jimmy couldn't hang on, and taken away by Kirkman. Down floor to Willingham. A bump, a miss. Kirkman tried for a follow slam, missed, and Willingham missed on a third try, but a fourth one is rebounded by Willingham and sent to Broadus for his second three. Good. And a timeout by Jamestown. No, timeout because Linus is shaken up a little bit. And, Jimmy had to miss some time, with that right ankle. And he's sitting and trying to stretch his legs out. He may just, did he land awkwardly?
He did.
See? Yeah.
He did land awkwardly on it, yep.
So the Augustana training staff out there to look at him, along with Casey Brueggemann.
It's a hip.
It's his hip.
Yep.
Well, that just comes with the territory, and Jimmy knows it. He talked about it with us the other night. That just comes with the territory. He knows it's going to be physical for him.
They're going to take him towards the locker room.
Yeah, especially playing these NSIC teams, but it's going to be that way in the NSAA too with, Jones and those guys. He knows it's going to be physical.
He's got a smile on his face, so I think he's going to be okay. Meanwhile, that was a big three-pointer because it extended the lead to 5.
49-44, Minnesota State. 17:43 left on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Minnesota State is 10 of 16 on three-pointers. Cole Glasgow, left wing, moves to the left lane line. Drives, had it blocked from behind. Great play, Will Upsall, and he gained the rebound. Right alley front court for the Mavericks. Upsall to the right baseline, drives, misses, tried to gain his own board and just took it away from Lyman. And then Hunter, good play to tie him up, and that'll keep it with Minnesota State. But Hunter, nice recovery there.
Pretty important couple minutes here because you see Minnesota State really attacking the paint and attacking the O boards now.
As we say, they only have the 2 rebound advantage in the first half.
That's up to 7 already.
Willingham out front to Broadus. As they'll play the half-court game with a Kirkman screen. Out front to Kyrese Willingham on Heckner. Drives past him into the lane. Rolled off, down low. Upsall for the board. Threw it over the rim. Rebound tip came to Cole Glasgow for Jamestown. 3 minutes into the second half. Left wing, Will Cordes in the front court. Will backing down on Broadus. Right wing, Silas Benyon with Egan's guarding him. Right corner, it's Will Cordes again. 49-44 Minnesota State. Glasgow, right wing, it is Cordes on the baseline, cut off well. Swing it, left side, 8 on the shot clock. As it comes to Glasgow from Heckner, Cole in the lane, stops, trying to drive him up, Saul 2-1's, got to put it up, he got fouled. Ooh, what a bailout that is with 2 on the shot clock. A foul on Upsall is going to mean free throws for Cole Glasgow. That's his first, and that's the first team foul of the second half. And and Matt Morgenthaler, I just heard him say, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah, and I don't think he's saying that to the officials. I think it's because Upsall did not need to do that. He was in a great defensive position right there.
That sort of play drives coaches bananas.
Yep.
When you foul with a single digit on the shot clock. Glasgow with the first of 2. He's good.
And Cole is he came in 8 for 11 from the free throw line, and he's 2 for 3 today.
49-45 Minnesota State. Cole have another. The transfer from Missouri, Kansas City hits them both. Now he comes out for Anthony Walters, and it's 49-46 for Minnesota State on the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. And Stainbrook comes back in too for Owen Heckner.
Now this is Casey playing the clock. He knows he's got about a minute and a half before the media timeout.
Harrison Broadus, Caden Kirkman, Justin Egan's, Will Opsahl, and Kyrese Willingham, the 5 on the floor for Minnesota State. That's their starting 5. Kirkman Right wing in the angle up top to Willingham. Left wing for Will Opsahl. For Egan's, wants a Willingham screen. Walters there to guard him. Left wing and Opsahl, 3. Rims the basket, but Willingham runs down the offensive board. To Egan's left wing for Opsahl. Ball fake on Cordes. Bounce pass, drive, and stripped out of his hand, but it ends up in Egan's possession. Down to 10 on the Minnesota State shot clock. Right down the middle by Egan's. They let him go, and he scored a layup.
He got away from Stainbrook, just kind of used the body positioning of Aiden to get away from him.
First 2 in the half, and 18 for the game for Egan's. 51-46 Minnesota State, 15:49 left. Jamestown basketball. Stainbrook in the right corner. Aiden into the lane, stops. Right wing, it is Cordes. Hand in his face, it's Harrison Broadus. Spin on him to the right lane line. A drive, a bank, and oh goodness, it rolled off. Tough break. Rebound, Kirkman. Boy, Will did everything right on that play. The shot just didn't stay down. Willingham out for Egan's for Minnesota State. At the bucket to our left. They're in white with purple numerals and letters and gold, and a turnaround half hook, and a tough shot by Willingham is good. I say a tough one, tough to defend.
Very good shot by Willingham, and yeah.
53-46. Jamestown wants timeout. 15-12 remaining. A Hillary Construction timeout as Minnesota State has opened up a lead here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Minnesota State 53, Jamestown 46 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Looking for a roofing company that truly knows your town? Choose Vetter Construction. Unlike those big name competitors using our city's name, we're your community experts right here working for you. From repairs to full replacement, our trusted team delivers quality and care that you can trust. For a roof that stands strong, call Vetter Construction today. 320-1990. 320-1990.
The offensive rebounding is now a factor. 13 of them already for Minnesota State. They have led to 10 second chance points. Mavericks with their biggest lead since the middle of the first half, 53-46. Rebounding, it was very, very close at halftime. I believe it was 15-13 at halftime. It's already 11-4 this half.
Well, 13 offensive rebounds, as we told you in our pregame, is Minnesota State's average, and that's the best in the NSIC.
And I think Casey and his team would take it if they finish right on their average.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do here with 15-12 to go. Shooting percentage is 45% for Jamestown and 17-38, 6 of 18 threes. Minnesota State at 46%, 21-46. But, yeah, they're 10 of 17 on three-pointers. Well, let's see if the Jimmies can make it closer. They have the ball now. Silas Benyon, right lane line, hook pass left wing to Stainbrook. Willingham knocked it away, but Aiden regained it. Pass to Anthony Walters, who's back in, and he's out of bounds. Stepped on the sideline, and that leads us to another Hillerud Construction timeout. Exactly 5 minutes into the second half in Sioux Falls. Minnesota State 53, Jamestown 46 on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
The Frontier Fort invites you in for a true Dakota Territory dining experience. This unique location looks like an authentic 1800s fort. Head upstairs and you'll be greeted with the mouth-watering aroma of freshly grilled ribeyes and barbecued ribs. They're open from 4 to 9 Monday through Saturday, and their legendary prime rib is served on Fridays and Saturdays. Now hiring a full-time or part-time cook. Call 252-7492. The Frontier Fort, on the road to the Buffalo, Jamestown.
Otter Tail Power Company would like to remind you about the importance of high school athletics in the lives of children. Those extracurricular activities play a role in the education and development of those kids involved and provide a way for kids to learn some of life's most important lessons. Lessons that'll take them through life with a sense of accomplishment and pride. Otter Tail Power Company would like to salute those athletes, coaches, and fans who make every season one to remember.
Your home for UJ Jimmies. AM 1400 KQDJ Jamestown and 107.1 K296HH Jamestown.
Jamestown in the second half, just 1 of 7 from the floor. Minnesota State 4 of 13. Now that's not a great percentage, but they've gotten 6 more shots up because of offensive rebounding. And they lead by 7.
Yeah, and their rebounding advantage is now 9 overall, 26-17. And they have the basketball, just Over 5 minutes gone in the second half. Willingham against Walters. Elbow stuck out. They didn't call it. Down low, drive. It rolls in with a foul for Opsahl. And Casey Brueggemann is wondering why there wasn't a foul on Willingham for sticking his elbow out.
I don't think he's the only one wondering that. That was, all right. And they call that one on Stainbrook.
Aiden's first and the third team foul. And Opsahl, who has gotten after it, well, with a couple of threes in the first half and right down on the box at the start of this half. Then he misses the free throw, and Hunter Lyman with a rebound. Jimmy Linus is standing, by the way, to the right of the Jamestown bench. Hurt his hip, we're told, a few minutes ago. Left the floor briefly. Now he's back in. Walters with a drive to the baseline. Off balance with Willingham all over him. And a two-hand banker is good.
Again, I will say it again. I don't think, well, now I'm certain that they cannot guard Anthony Walters.
That's strength to make that shot go in, and that's how strong he is. 55-48 Minnesota State, and they answer with a jumper on the other end from 14. That's good by Jones.
Look out.
57-48. They quickly drive to the other end, and Aiden Stainbrook scores. One pass down floor, and he's good.
And Minnesota State caught celebrating a jumper.
It's about a 75-foot pass.
It
57-50 for Minnesota State. Here is a right wing three that rins off by Harmon. Lyman the rebound, handed it to Jamestown for Silas Benyon. Front court. Benyon hesitates. Ooh, he nearly walked, and then he's fouled as he puts it in. Benyon scores and draws the foul on Justin Egan's, his first, and it's a 5-point game.
What a tough shot by Silas, because and here comes Jimmy Linus. Silas is off balance and gets fouled, still makes the shot. My goodness.
Under Lyman out, Spencer Barr in for Will Cordes.
I talk all the time, David, about how in the NSIC you have to be able to get your own shot. That's what I'm talking about.
14 of 20 at the foul line for Benyon. Oh, and it rolls off after rolling all around the rim, and the rebound for Minnesota State by Malcolm Jones. 57-52 Minnesota State. 13:43 left in the Gunner Real Sports scoreboard. Egan's is pushed and fouled by Benyon. Yeah, that's a good call. His second.
He pulled the chair out from underneath.
Yeah.
That's what he got called for.
Fourth team foul after the Jimmies only had 3 fouls in the entire first half. They have 4 in this first 6:23 of the second half. Inbound to Willingham, right baseline. Walters guarding him. And Willingham trying to ward him off. Spins to the left and scores. And again, they don't want him to turn left, and that's why.
Yeah, just a little floater. Tough shot. Good defense, but a better shot.
13 in the game for him. 59-52 Minnesota State. Right corner three, Benyon for the Jimmies. Air ball. Malcolm Jones rebounds for Minnesota State. That one might have been a little rushed.
Little bit, yep.
Willingham in the front court for the Minnesota State Mavericks. Tried left baseline, rolled it in. That's what that kid can do, and he went left again. 15 for him, 61-52 suddenly for Minnesota State. 7 minutes gone in the half. Screen and roll, Linus, screen for Benyon, who passed it back to him, then he dropped it. Willingham the other way. 1-on-3, and Linus is able to tap it away, and Mark Markendale is saying, it's 1-on-3, what in the world are you doing? It's bar down floor for Jamestown. A bounce to Stainbrook. 12:38 to go. Linus on a high post straight away. Hand to Benyon, screened by Linus. Benyon down low for a Jimmy jam. 2 hands by Linus.
Great pass because they kept the double on Silas, so he's able to just bounce it into Jimmy, and he gets that basket.
12 for him, 61-54 for Minnesota State. 12-15 left. King Kirkman's going to come back into the next dead ball after that for the Mavericks. David Harmon up top now to Malcolm Jones. Handed back to Harmon. 12:05 to go. Floater, teardrop, one-hand runner in the lane. Good, nice shot by Harmon.
They can certainly make some difficult shots like that one.
It's shots you can't defend. 63-54 Minnesota State. Down low pass for Linus. Drives, fouled by Willingham. Now, Jimmy wanted to dunk it, but Kai Reese prevented it for his second foul.
Jimmy's going to need some ice after this game.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Third team foul on the Mavericks. But again, like he said to us, hey, it's part of the game.
That's right.
I know how I've been doing this for a long time. When you're 6'8", and you can block and you can leap, he just knows it's going to happen. 9 of 13 at the line this year. First of 2 good. And here comes Caden Kirkman back in for Malcolm Jones. 63-55 Minnesota State. 11:51 left on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard. Jamestown shooting well at the line again today. They're 7 of 9. One more for Jimmy Linus. And the Floridian missed this one. And it's rebounded by Caden Kirkman, who just re-entered. Back to David Harmon and into the front court. Willingham outside the arc on the left wing. A hand on a high post to Kirkman. He hands it off to David Harmon. Drives on Linus and banked it in. Wow.
He went from a three-quarter angle to get that off. That was impressive. And this matches the biggest lead of the game for the Mavericks.
10, 65-55, 11:23 left. Stainbrook trying to answer with a three on the right wing. No good. Battle for that rebound went off of Linus and out of bounds to Minnesota State, who brings Drew Daniel back in for Will Opsall.
Next 2 minutes are really important. Try to get this under 10 by the under 10.
Pull Glasgow back in for Spencer Barr for Jamestown. Let's set Minnesota State's 5 now. Caden Kirkman, David Harmon, Drew Daniel, Justin Egan's, and Will Opsall. Willingham on the bench for the moment. Egan's directing traffic. Hands it to Kirkman, driving on Linus. Big shoulder bump, rolled it in. That matchup's getting tougher all the time for Linus.
They're starting to get a lot of points in the paint. They're up to 32 of those.
10 for Kirkman. Reverse layup by Benyon on the left baseline. He scores, and Jamestown wants a 30-second Hillerud construction timeout, so we'll keep it here with 10:55 left. And that again cuts the Minnesota State lead to 10. It's 67-57 on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard. But, let's go back to what we said maybe ad nauseum for some of you in the pregame. But, BJ, you were right. Rebounding is making the difference in this game now. And now it's Minnesota State with an 11-rebound advantage at 30-19.
And in just the second half, they've out-rebounded Jamestown 15-6. Mm-hmm. And that's why, look, you and I talked about this at shoot-around last night. There was going to be a direct correlation between rebounding and the score. Well, as Minnesota State has taken over a little bit on the backboards, they now have a double-digit lead.
That's why he's here. He played this game. I didn't. He knows this sort of thing. Yeah, you did play. I know where you played, and I know, but you did play the game.
I wouldn't have if we were any good.
Come on now. Minnesota State in the front court up 10. Justin Egan's with it. 10:45 left. Looking for an open man. Now comes to Will Opsall on the left wing. Lob to Kirkman left of the lane with Linus guarding him. Caden backs down on him to the left baseline.
Good
Short.
defense.
Yes, it was, and Linus rebounded it.
Very good defense by Jimmy. He walled up as soon as the dribble was picked up.
Pull Glasgow, bounce on the right wing for Anthony Walters for the Jimmies. Down 10 with 10:20 to go. Linus wide of the lane on the right side for a Stainbrook three that's off the rim and rebounded by David Harmon. Down floor to Kirkman for Minnesota State. In three defenders, he's called for an offensive foul, and Linus it is another Jimmy that hit the floor. It's Stainbrook who got hit hard.
And I think he's going to overrule himself here. I got a feeling he's going to overrule himself.
You're saying Stainbrook was below the semicircle?
Was in the semicircle, although it's taken a long time here.
Now he landed. Now that's what they're talking about. When he landed on his back, he was within the semicircle. But when the foul happened, was he in the semicircle?
I thought he was above it. I thought it was a good call.
I thought. Yeah.
I thought it was a very good call. They are taking a long time here. I mean, a long time.
All three of the officials, Jake Studer, Justin Stottlemyre.
You just got to go with it.
Gary White III.
They're going to review it.
Yeah. And you can.
You can review block charge?
Sure, yes. Okay. You can review block charge, and they will. And we'll get a good look at it because the monitor is right down to our right. So they will look at this.
I mean, I thought he was above the semicircle.
I thought so too.
But we'll see. I mean, literally, we will see.
If you're not familiar with that, they have a semicircle, and if the defender is within that and draws a charge, what normally would be a charge, then the foul would be called on the defender. Well, out there they're going to turn this monitor around where we won't see it, but that's all right.
Yeah, we won't see it.
It's okay. But still, this is to determine exactly where Aiden was when the foul happened.
I'm also not sure if they're extending this to the media break or not because Jamestown is seated and the Mavericks are not.
Well, when a replay review happens, both of the teams are called to the benches. They're not allowed to stay on the floor.
Right.
Yeah. So we're still due for a media timeout after 7 more seconds of playing time. The officials took a quick look at it.
They're going to change it, I think. Yep, they're changing it to a block. It'll be 2 free throws as well.
So that's the second on Stainbrook. Well,
I think what Aiden is saying is it doesn't matter if he was in the area because he thought he was set. Now that's the gray area in terms of if you're in the semicircle, you can be there for 60 feet. It's still a charge.
Editorial opinion, I'm not a fan of the semicircle, never have been. And I know why they put it in, but I just don't know that
it's interesting.
Is used to its intended effect.
It's interesting. They tried to put it in to make it simpler, and instead what they did was it got a lot more complicated.
Exactly the opposite. You're right. Caden Kirkman's to the line for the first time today, 6 of 12 this year. He had a good year here with Augustana last year as a bench player, the first one short. He was a 56% shooter for the Vikings a year ago. Had 14 points and 14 rebounds against Minnesota Morris last Saturday. Today, he has 10 points and 4 rebounds. And his second free throw is short, too, but the offensive board by Drew Daniel for Minnesota State. Got to get those misses on second free throws. Justin Egan's left wing for the Mavericks. For Kirkman, now it is guarding him or trying to is Heckner, and Kirkman glided right past in and floated it in.
Well done by the Mavericks. They know that's a mismatch, so they just went ISO ball.
69-57 Minnesota State, 9:40 left on the Gunner Sports scoreboard. The official waves for the Minnesota State bench to sit down. They do, well, except for Willingham. Handed back to Cole Glasgow. His head on the shot clock. Very tight defense, and Harrison Broadus is called for the third of his 3 swipes for a foul. That's his first. I mean, he swatted once, swatted twice. They didn't call it. Then finally in the third when they did for the 4th team foul.
So it turns out the review was the media timeout.
Okay, fair enough.
Never mind.
Lobbed in from Will Cordes to Anthony Walters. 9:25 left. 69-57 Minnesota State. Walters fell, passed, knocked out of bounds. Good play by Harmon. And will stay with Jamestown with 13 on the shot clock for the Jimmies. And here comes Kyrese Willingham and Will Upsall back in for Minnesota State for Drew Daniel and Justin Egan's.
It's worth noting the Minnesota State defense has gotten better in the second half. Jimmy's just 40% since the break. 6 of 15.
After shooting 52% in the first half.
And they have not hit a 3.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like last Saturday against Morris, Coach Marginley has made a defensive adjustment, and it's working. Right wing, it is Walters. 7 on the shot clock. Into the lane. Drives. Puts it in.
Can't guard him. Just cannot guard him. Once he puts the ball on the ground, what you said earlier is so true. He's so strong, there's no way to stop him from getting to his spot.
12 points for him. Strong like bull. 69-59 Minnesota State. 8:55 left. There's something about Ant. Willingham for Minnesota State. Down the middle, drives, and it rolls in. And a great move by Willingham, and that's 9.5 and 17 for him for the game. 71-59. Left wing 3, Walters to answer is short. Anthony trying to grab his own rebound, did on the left corner. Handed to Linus. Cross court and open. Will Cordes, 3. Bottom for Will, and he needed that.
He came in 1 for 20 from deep. He is a career 40% three-point shooter. You know they're coming.
71-62. Jamestown cuts the MSU lead to 9 with 8:19 left. It is a drive into the lane that rolls off the rim for David Harmon. And a rebound, Will Cordes. Right wing down the alley, it's Cole Glasgow. Behind the back dribble to keep it away from Harmon, who still nearly stole it. Glasgow retrieves it, drives into the lane. Left it short. Rebound tapped, loose, came to Harrison Broadus for Minnesota State. They add another rebound to their advantage. Down low, it is a drive and a bucket by Kirkman, who beat Heckner again, and now Minnesota State wants a Hillerud construction timeout. With 7:51 remaining, the lead back into double digits for Minnesota State, 73-62 over Jamestown on the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Two Rivers Activity Center in Jamestown is hiring. Do you like interacting with people? Do you enjoy a fun, upbeat atmosphere and a clean workspace? If so, the perfect opportunity awaits you at TRAC. They're currently hiring for a variety of part-time positions for lifeguard and guest service and wellness attendants. They'll work with your existing schedule, whether you already have another job or are a college student. Check out TRACJamestown.com to learn more about these positions and how to apply today.
Reminder that we'll be with you here again tomorrow when the Jimmies meet the host Augustana. We'll have it for you at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon here on Jamestown 107.1. Minnesota State leads by 11 here over the Jimmies with 7:40 left, 73-62. Jamestown basketball. Benyon down low, a lob intended for Linus, but Tyrese Willingham knocked it out of bounds. Jamestown will inbound 17 to shoot.
Really good play by Willingham to get around the left shoulder of Linus and knock the ball out of bounds.
Cordes will inbound near the right corner. The bucket just to our right. A right wing three on the way for Benyon. He's good.
And now they've hit two in a row.
Silas Benyon now with 11 for the game. 73-65 Minnesota State. Still 7:23 left. Jimmy's trying to hang around here. Harmon for Willingham. Tries to answer with a left wing three off the back rim. And Cole Glasgow's up for the rebound for Jamestown. To Benyon, right wing into the front court. Silas driving on Opsal. Now to the left wing. Line floater from 14. A little off balance and missing. And Opsal gained the rebound.
I think he saw the pass to the left wing at the last second and wanted to make it.
It's Harrison Broadus for Minnesota State. Off the hand of Willingham. Pass was too quick for Kyrese, and it's out of bounds to Jamestown with 6:54 to go.
He goes to cut, and the ball is thrown to the spot. That leaves no room for error. And, I mean, as well as Minnesota State has played in the second half, David, you're right. It's 8 points. In this era of three-point shooting, that's nothing.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Justin Egan's is back in
That's
for
right.
Minnesota State, who is having the big day for the Mavericks with 18. Jamestown's Jimmy Linus hands it back to Owen Heckner. Left wing Cole Glasgow with 6:45 left for Silas Benyon. Heckner again down low for Linus. Past Willingham, but the ball's loose, and then it is tapped by a Minnesota State player, Broadus, while he was falling out of bounds, and Jamestown will keep it with 16 to shoot.
Just a tough pass right there because Jimmy's got two guys on him.
Bounce pass from Cordes to Linus. Left baseline, trying to drive here on Kirkman. 6:33 to go. To the block. Half hook right over Kirkman and good.
That is a tough basket for Jimmy Linus, and now it's down to 6. It was 12 moments ago.
73-67 Minnesota State. 6:20 to go. 15 in the game now for Jimmy Linus. Baseline Kirkman on Linus, who fouled him. That's his second. Team foul number 6. So there's the last one to give for Jamestown. Still with 6:14 to go.
On that play, I think Jimmy's hip is a factor. He could not cut off baseline.
He's out there, but yeah, you can tell it's got to be sore. He's favoring it a little bit. And pass off the hands of Eakins, but Willingham's there to pick it up for Minnesota State. Double team on him now. And he hands it back out to Kirkman. 10 on the shot clock. Eakins was wide open for a moment. Now a bounce to Kirkman. Left wing, Broadus is open. Wants a three. Too long. Willingham couldn't quite save the rebound. It's out of bounds to Jamestown with 5:55 to go. Good D by the Jimmies.
Absolutely good D by the Jimmies. Scoreless in 2 minutes, Minnesota State.
Malcolm Jones re-enters for Minnesota State. Let's set Jamestown's 5. Silas Benyon, Will Cordes, Cole Glasgow, Owen Heckner, and Jimmy Linus. You're right about Jimmy Beach. He has got hands on knees, and he's hurting a little bit. No doubt. That hip, which got dinged a while ago. Well, Benyon all the way to the baseline. Rolled around. Couldn't stay down. Linus trying to hand the rebound down with one hand. but he couldn't quite reach it. And there to pick it up is Malcolm Jones for Minnesota State.
I can't believe that shot didn't go in for Silas.
Rolled all around the brace of the rim. Willingham for Minnesota State. Left baseline. A drive with a fadeaway. Misses. Linus the rebound. Jimmy coaches say go. It is a right wing spot up three. Heckner, he's good. It's a 3-point game. Second three for Owen.
And this is an 8-0 run at the perfect moment for the Jimmies.
73-70 Minnesota State. 5:05 left. The Jimmies hanging with the defending Division II national champions. Harrison Broadus for Minnesota State. Timeout on the next step. Oh, nearly a steal by Glasgow. Came to Egan's right wing. Broadus. Long three. Back rim, no good. Silas Benyon ran down the rebound and then got held by Opsal. So that's team foul number 5 of Minnesota State, and the second on Opsal, and the Jimmies will inbound after a Hillerud construction timeout. Hang on, folks, as the Jimmy fans stand. 4:52 left in Sioux Falls on the Gunner Meal Sports scoreboard. Minnesota State 73, Jamestown 70. On Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Where do you find the friendliest staff, largest selection, lowest prices, and the freshest produce? Hugo's in Jamestown. But what if you can't go to the store? Hugo's Family Marketplace offers online shopping. You can shop all the departments and all the sales at GoHugos.com. Choose pickup or Hugo's delivery service, and they'll do the in-store shopping for you. Hugo's Family Marketplace online shopping at GoHugos.com.
You're gonna find more low prices, more great stuff when you go to Hugo's.
BJ knows the NSIC from his time in the league in the past, and another thing we talked about last night was that in some instances in a game like this, BJ, you said with these media timeouts, play the game in 5-minute segments. The last segment was very good for UJ.
8-0, and Minnesota State is scoreless in 3 minutes. UJ has the basketball coming out of this timeout. I think if you offered this to Casey Brueggemann pregame, knowing that Jimmy's going to be a little dinged up, he would have taken it.
73-70 Minnesota State. 4:52 left in regulation with BJ Walters, David Burrow. The Bill Gross Classic at the Elman Center at Augustana University in Sioux Falls. Jamestown about to inbound. We'll reset things when we get an opportunity. It's into Will Cordes. Jimmy's down a 3. 4:45 left. Owen Heckner, left wing Silas Benyon on the angle way outside. Right wing, it's to Cole Glasgow. A hand to Will Cordes into the right corner for Benyon. And a pass down low for Glasgow, cut off by Willingham. Benyon on top of the left wing, now down to 9 to shoot. Left wing, an open 3 and a tie by Glasgow, but it's short, and it's rebounded by Harrison Broadus. Ooh, and Malcolm Jones hit the floor hard for Minnesota State, but no foul call. Broadus down the right wing. Minnesota State hangs on to the 3-point lead. 4:15 left. Baseline Willingham on the left side. Benyon to guard him. Willingham turned to his left, then back to his right and handed it to Egan's. Right side Willingham. Yep, came to his left again. Left wing Egan's. A three's coming. He's good.
My. Tough shot.
The fifth made 3 of the game for Justin Egan's, and it's 76-70 for Minnesota State. 3:49 to go. Big shot there. Glasgow in the lane. Turns around and scores right over Opsal.
And that is a great play because Glasgow is giving up 5 inches on that matchup.
8 for Cole Glasgow. 76-72 Minnesota State. 21, by the way, now for Egan's after that made 3. 3.5 minutes to go. Here's Egan's again. Top of the key. Left wing and Opsal 3. Way long. Linus the rebound. To Silas Benyon, the Jimmies stay within 4. If it stays this close, no matter the result, they have made their statement today. It is into the lane. A 14-footer that will rolled off the rim by Heckner, and the rebound tipped to Kyrese Willingham.
I like the shot. Yep. That was a fine shot by Owen.
As you kept saying in the flow of the offense, yep. Right? That's what's happened so much last Saturday. Egan's with a bounce into the lane. A drive. Benyon knocked it away from Jones, and it's picked up now by Silas.
I'm a little surprised there wasn't a foul call there.
Me too. 2:50 to go. Well, a lot has been let go really today. A bounce pass inside for Linus. Wanted to dunk, but he got fouled off a beautiful dish by Cordes. Jimmy will have 2 free throws off the 4th foul by Malcolm Jones and the 16th foul on Minnesota State with 2:43 left.
Jimmy bench, and actually both benchers are being warned pretty much for the last time to sit down.
Yeah, sit down. Yes. Linus at the line, 1 for 2 earlier.
He's got a double-double, 15 and 10.
He rolls it in.
I believe, is that his first one of the year?
Caden Kirkman back in. That is his first one of the year and his 9th as a Jimmy. He had 8 a year ago. 76-73 for Minnesota State on the Gunner Reel Sports scoreboard with 2:43 left. Looks for a 17th point. He's good again. 76-74. Minnesota State with 2:40 left. Harrison Broadus for the Mavericks. A hand to Caden Kirkman. Big move maybe here to put it back in. Egan straightaway 3 off the back rim. Linus the rebound. Jimmies can tie or lead. Down floor to Binion. 2:25 left. Silas driving on Broadus. Right corner. 3 and the lead is long off the ref rim. Rebound. Glasgow banked it in for a tie game.
Back from 12 down, the Jimmies have tied it with just over 2 to go. Wow.
10 for Cole. It is 76-76 with 2:08 left. Hand to Willingham. Now for Kirkman on a high post with Linus out to guard him. Hand again for Harrison Broadus. Out front for Egan's. Willingham being defended again by Heckner to the baseline. Heckner trying to cut him off. Spins over Linus and scores, and Heckner went to the floor, and he got dinged up.
I think he got elbowed.
I think he did too. Willingham scored to give Minnesota State the lead back at 78-76. Heckner's up, grimacing a little bit, but walking down the floor, and that's 19 now for Willingham. Or I should say 18.
And he did a nice job to just get to his spot with that left hand.
18 for Willingham, 21 for Egan's for Minnesota State. Linus 17 to lead 4 Jimmies in double figures. Hand back to Silas Binion. 1:38 to go. Right wing Glasgow. Jimmy's down a 2. Cole to the right lane line. Spins. Fadeaway in the lane. Tough shot. Too long. Rebound. Caden Kirkman for Minnesota State. 1:25 left, and the Mavericks will slow it down here. Play a half-court game. Willingham up top. Left wing to Opsall. 1:18 left, and the Jimmies come up with a big stop here. Down 2. Harrison Broadus right wing for Will Opsall again up top. They've worked it down to 10 on the timer. Willingham on the right baseline. Guarded by Glasgow. Into the left corner for Opsall. Back to Egan's ankle. 3 in the timer. 2. Fadeaway. 3 to the sideline. He put it in. You wouldn't believe that one. Justin Egan's way off balance with a 6-made 3 of the day. And a foul as Cornish drove to the right corner by Willingham. That's the 17th foul. It is 81-76 Minnesota State. I can't believe that shot by Justin Egan.
I can't believe he even took it, even with the shot clock dwindling.
He was falling into the bench. That's no exaggeration.
No, not at all.
Cordes, who's been so good at the line for his whole career in Jamestown, hits his first one today. He's now 20 of 21 this year. It's 81-77 Minnesota State, 51.9 to go.
Now, if this one goes in, you do not have to foul. You can play defense for 30 seconds.
Second for Will. And it rolls in. 81-78 for Minnesota State. Some pressure by Cordes in the backcourt, but the rest of the Jimmies back off. And Minnesota State head coach Matt Margenthaler will call a timeout. We'll keep it here with 45.8 left. Minnesota State 81, Jamestown 78. Let's reset things here. 1 timeout now left for each team. 17 fouls on Minnesota State, so Jamestown's in the 1-1. The Jimmies have 6 team fouls, and the possession arrow, if it's needed, points to Jamestown.
And this is a possession where you can play it out defensively. If you get put in a really bad spot, and I mean, you know, if Will Cordes has suddenly switched on Willingham and you have to foul, it's only a 1-and-1.
And
what an effort.
You know, what an effort this is. Yeah, maybe it's to the point where you use that foul, and it's a strange thing to say maybe with a 3-point lead, but to extend the game at this point.
Yeah. It's very possible. The biggest reason why I think you can let it play out is it's a full 22-second difference. I mean, that is more than enough time to set up an offense. I mean,
Justin Egan's is now 6 of 10 on threes today and 9 of 14 overall, 24 points, 5 assists. But the last one was not to be believed.
They are not a good free throw shooting team.
Well, there's the other point you make. They're only 1 out of 5 today. There was 71% coming in, but they only hit 1 of 5 today. So, yeah, that's another reason BJ says what he did. It's a lob to Willingham, 40 seconds to go, 19 to shoot. Egan's way out there, and to Kirkman right away. 13 on the timer. Spins on Linus. Blocked by Jimmy. Rebounded by Linus. 29 seconds left. The shot clock is off. What will the Jimmies do here? They have a timeout to use.
You can go get a 2.
Binion, 21 seconds left. It is now for Hector, 17-footer. He's good. It is a 2. It's a 1-point game. It's 81-80. Inbounded to Willingham. Binion fouls him with 14 seconds to go. That puts Minnesota State in the bonus, and it's the third on Binion. And remember, it's not been an easy day. 1 of 5, all in this half at the line for the Mavericks.
Willingham has the only make. And even if he makes both, you still have a timeout. You can still go down, get a quick 2, and then call the timeout.
And if you, you've got to get the rebound, of course. If you
That's
do,
right.
either way, or even if he makes both, it's still a 1-possession game. But it's a 1-and-1, and it's a big one here for Willingham. 14 seconds left, 81-80 Minnesota State. The lefty hit it. Nothing but net. 82-80 for Minnesota State on Willingham's 19th point. This one is to make it a 3-point Minnesota State lead. Willingham takes a deep breath. One dribble, he's good again. 83-80. Minnesota State down floor to Cordes. Crosses the timeline with 11. High screen Linus. 8-7. A 3 by Heckner, but a timeout called by Jamestown with 7.6 to go. And we'll keep it here with an 83-80 Minnesota State lead. And I think it's probably a good thing because that was a tough shot Heckner just tried to take.
Owen's got the you bailed me out smile on his face.
Because he was 24 feet from the bucket and very well defended. And they use this last timeout here, a Hillary Construction timeout, to set up I don't think there's any question now to try to set up a tying 3 and force overtime.
That's exactly right. And if you're Minnesota State, you have to think about fouling. You have to. Because Jamestown has hit 3 of their last 4 3-pointers.
Yes, you're the proponent of fouling with a lead. That's right.
And here's why. If you don't foul, one thing has to go wrong. A kid has to hit a shot. If you foul, 4 things have to happen. You have to make the first, miss the second, grab the rebound, and get the putback. And this is a good rebounding team in Minnesota State. So I'm a huge proponent of fouling.
It's Jamestown's last timeout. Minnesota State has 1 left. Remember, if the ball's tied up, it would go to Jamestown on the arrow.
I think you look for something where Jimmy catches the ball up top and you get a screen for maybe who's inbounding the ball, Ant or maybe Will.
On the left sideline, 7.6 left. He lobs cross court. It's for Linus. Right wing Heckner. A 3 in the tie is short, and it's rebounded by Broadus. And he's fouled with 2.6 left by Cordes. They got a good shot. It just didn't fall.
They got the look they were looking for. That's also the play they tried to run against Briarcliff.
First foul on Will is the 8th team foul, and Broadus only needs to make one of these to salt this game away for Minnesota State.
If he misses this one, you've got to grab it quick, make a pass, and let's hit a 3.
No timeouts, right. Linus out and Glasgow in for that reason. But if Broadus makes this one, it won't matter. It is rattling in, and Minnesota State will hang on. It's 84-80.
What a great game. What a great basketball game.
And the Jimmies, and I know what the result's going to be, but the Jimmies have made their statement for looking ahead to next year. They're both good for Broadus. 6 for him. Cordes, one last pass inbound to midcourt to Walters. Takes a 3 at the buzzer. It's long. And Minnesota State has won, but they have escaped. And the Jamestown Jimmies have shown their future conference, the NSIC, yeah, you better believe we can play with the best you have. Final score in the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard, Minnesota State's Mavericks 85, the Jamestown Jimmies 80. Minnesota State improves to 3-4, Jamestown now at 3-5. Stay tuned for the RM Stout postgame report, including a visit with Jimmy's head coach, Casey Brueggemann. Next from Sioux Falls on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
At Unison Bank, we provide financial solutions for customers to meet their needs today and achieve their dreams tomorrow. From personal banking services like checking accounts, mortgage and auto loans, to business banking services. At Unison Bank, we offer financial solutions with prompt responses and quality service. Visit unisonbank.com for more information. Located in Jamestown, Linton, and Wishick, as well as Gilbert, Arizona. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender. Johnny B's Brickhouse, famous for their pizza, but wait, there's pasta, and their amazing wings, and fresh ground hamburgers, tasty salads and appetizers too. And for dessert, you can't beat their sweet sticks. Come on out for Tuesday night trivia and live entertainment every Thursday night. The place to be is Johnny B's, smack dab in the middle of Main Street, downtown Jamestown. And remember, for delivery and carryout, call 952-8777.
The Jamestown Country Club wants to thank you for a great season that lasted so far into the fall. It's never too early to think about next year's season, though. Hey, make it a Christmas present for that golfer in your life. Buy one today and have the best gift taken care of for the season. Contact the Jamestown Country Club at jcc58401@gmail.com and request your gift registration today. Have a happy holiday season from the Jamestown Country Club.
Why choose professional eye care centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional eye care centers, clearly the best.
In the first game of the Bill Gross Classic at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, the Jamestown Jimmies played the defending Division II national champions right to the end, but Minnesota State survived it. 85-80 the final in the Gun and Reel Sports Scoreboard, and this is the RM Stout post-game report. Well, Justin Egan's has, and Minnesota State had 2 steals and 3 blocks. Each team with 11 points off turnovers. Minnesota State just outscored the Jimmies in the paint 38-36. 12 second chance points for each team. Jimmies had 8 fast break points and Minnesota State only 2. And of course, as we told you a whole lot from the Jimmy bench today, 29 points to Minnesota State's 11. 5 lead changes, 2 ties. Jimmies almost came back again from a double-digit deficit in the second half to bring it to within 3 late. Minnesota State wins it by a score of 85-80. We hope to visit with head coach Casey Brueggemann, who certainly has a lot to tell his team, but even in this loss, Beach, a lot of positive things to say to his team and a lot of positive feelings for this team for how they played again today.
You made mention in pregame of the fact that you have a 24th year head coach against State, rising star in the coaching industry. You play a game like that, your star's not going to stop shining if you're Casey Brueggemann, because, I mean, you can really start to tell it's not just about the new system. It's about learning each other's tendencies. 18 assists on 30 field goals. That can't just be bad Minnesota State defense.
No.
That means that, you know, you're starting to understand your teammates a little bit better. And, I mean, all signs point to you do not want to see Jamestown a month and a half from now.
No, you know the SAA teams are taking notice of these last two games against NSIC teams, too. And tomorrow, it is Augustana. The Vikings are warming up. They're set to play Truman State in the second game today here at the Bill Gross Classic. This is the RM Stout postgame show. Another marvelous effort by Jamestown, but this one ends in a loss, 85-80 to Minnesota State on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard. More to come, including hopefully a visit with head coach Casey Brueggemann from Sioux Falls on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Before you can start building a business, you have to have great builders. Hillerud Construction is a builder of high-quality commercial buildings, and they're hiring talented labor and carpenters to help them do just that. Vacation, paid holidays, 401k, and health insurance benefits for full-time employees, plus great pay depending on experience. Apply at 1008 2nd Avenue Southeast, Jamestown, or visit HillerudConstruction.com. Again, visit HillerudConstruction.com, and let's get building.
Do you want to make sure homework time isn't spent on games and video streaming? Dakota Central can help. With Experience IQ, you set limits to ensure your kids aren't playing when they should be doing homework. With premium managed Wi-Fi from Dakota Central, you can create healthier internet habits for your children from the easy-to-use Command IQ app. Learn more about premium Wi-Fi and Experience IQ today at dakotacentral.com.
At Jamestown Regional Medical Center, we know that every injury is unique. That's why our orthopedic and sports medicine team works to get you back in the game, whether that game's on the field or in your daily life. JRMC is the official sports medicine provider for Blue Jay Athletics, taking care of our hometown and neighbors right where you live. It's why we're here. Don't let pain slow you down. Call 952-4878 to schedule an appointment. Jamestown Regional Medical Center. It's right here.
Jamestown Jimmies gave Minnesota State all they wanted today, although it was the Mavericks prevailing by a score of 85-80 here in Sioux Falls. And as we continue on the RM Stout halftime report, we do visit with Jimmy's head coach, Casey Brueggemann. No, you didn't want to lose, but your team has sent a pretty big message to a lot of people today, I think.
Credit to Mankato State, Minnesota State Mankato, Coach Morgan Taylor, and they came out ready to play. Defensively, I thought they were really good in the first half. Justin Egan's got going in the first half. We didn't do a good job on him, and then Kyries Willingham and Caden Kirkman kind of took him home down the stretch. So all credit to them. Very talented team, a team that dug in on defense today and poses a lot of problems for us from a size and athleticism standpoint. I'm proud of our guys. If you look at the stat sheet, 18 assists, 7 turnovers, gave up a little bit too many offensive rebounds for them, but our guys battled. At 2 different points in the second half, we were down 11. It was around 10 minutes to play, and our guys had a decision to make collectively as a group. Were we going to fold away and just trade baskets the rest of the game, or are we going to dig in, get stops, and keep attacking on the other end? So I'm proud of our effort. We're going to learn from this. We're going to come back tomorrow and give Augustana the best we got.
The look Owen got on the shot to try, or Silas got on the shot to try to tie the game. Nothing wrong with it. It just didn't go in.
Talked afterwards in the locker room. And this is what my dad always told me growing up. It's not about making the shot. It's being willing to take the shot. So I'm proud of Owen getting his feet set, letting that thing fly with confidence. Maybe I should have let him shoot that one before I called the time out for the break because he had a good look there. He shot both with confidence, and that's always what we want our players playing with in this program. We want them playing with a high level of confidence, not arrogance, but confidence in their abilities, confidence in what we do. So I'm happy with the look we got at the end. Obviously, we want to knock that down, but just not quite enough time for us tonight.
Beach came up before you came out here. Beach made the point of, about the 18 assists on your 30 made field goals, and he said, that's just not talking about Minnesota State's defense. That's talking about what your team does offensively, and this is happening with regularity, and I know you love that.
I love to see assisted baskets. We show some film to our guys, like this is the type of style we want to play where we're moving the ball and you put defenses in tough positions, and they're not typically a team that gives up a lot of assists. So I think credit to our guys for continuing to work the ball around and find an advantage and just work together and have the confidence to knock down shots. So proud of how we took care of the ball, proud of how we assisted, just needed to convert on a few more opportunities.
Your bench was outstanding in this game, and not just Anthony. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the 6th man of the year in the conference, but I thought Aiden was really good. I thought Spencer and Hunter gave you good minutes off the bench, and you guys get 29 bench points today.
It's awesome. Awesome to see that production from the bench, and I love the confidence that those guys come in. They know what makes them successful when they're out there, and to see Stainbrook get out there, especially in the second half, it's easy to do something in the first half and not really do anything in the second half. He came out in the second half and he produced for us as well. In Barr, he would have played a little bit more, but we didn't quite have a matchup for them when they were playing some of their bigger guards, but he played awesome. Really proud of Hunter and Anthony as well. I mean, he only played 20 minutes tonight. We were just rolling with a certain lineup and he wasn't on the floor, and he's the biggest cheerer of everybody else when he's on the bench. He's the most positive guy in the locker room. Couldn't ask for a better teammate and for a more humble guy to come off our bench and really give us a spark. So proud of those guys coming off the bench.
You mentioned the offensive rebounding. They come in averaging 13 a game. They had 13 with 10.5 minutes to play. That means you only gave up 1 in a quarter of a game against a team where that is their strength.
I thought for the first part of the second half, we were soft on the interior, and it's always harder in the second half to play defense because you're away from your bench, and we always say strength in numbers. When we got our bench there giving us energy, it always makes us defend better, and we got a little disconnected early in the second half and weren't able to rebound. But again, we had that choice at around 10 minutes left. Were we just going to trade baskets and keep letting them do what they've been doing for the first part of the second half, or were we going to dig in, get stops, and rebound? And Jimmy Linus played a lot of minutes, kind of on a little bit of a fall after that, and he played a ton of minutes and had 11 defensive rebounds. Was huge for us.
I love Jimmy's attitude about it. He talked with us the other night about, because he took one of the chops the other night, gets hit in the hip today, had to go through the foot injury. He says, it's all part of the game. I mean, players like that with an attitude like that, you want everybody like that.
You know, he's a pretty easygoing guy, and his dad played football at Miami, so there's that blood in him and you just kind of, that's what it is. It's that Florida blood, I guess, and I love his toughness. I love how he keeps getting better. That's a heck of a performance. 7 for 8 again from the field. I mean, his last 3 games he's been very efficient, and to have 17 and 11 and get to the free throw line 4 times, that's another thing. We were 11 of 14 from the line and won the free throw battle by 6 more makes than them. So we're doing good things. We just weren't quite good enough defensively, as you can see by their numbers. And credit to Minnesota State. I mean, they're tremendously talented and run really good stuff and make shots at a high level.
21 of 24 in his last 3 games, to your point about Jimmy. I mean, being a post player is hard. I mean, 21 out of 24 over a 3-game stretch. He's making it look too easy.
I talk with the bigs. It's not a glorious position all the time. We're asking them to set a screen, roll hard, slam into your guy to try to post up, slam into your guy again, sprint out again. Our guards, and I'm a guard, so I'm guilty of this too, we get to kind of play pretty a lot of times. And our bigs, they got to set the tone, set the edge, and Jimmy's doing a tremendous job with that, and so is Hunter. Those two can really do a lot of things physically, and they're 5th-year bigs. They do a good job, and that's the culture we're trying to create for that position group, so I'm proud of those guys.
All right, one more tomorrow here, and you're going to take a good close look at Augustana here as they'll play on this court in just a few moments against Truman State, but another good test. A team that's in a little bit of a transition, but they still got talent.
Augustana and Minnesota State are what you might say like the blue bloods of Division II. Yep. Augustana, you look up in their banner in the corner there, that's 2016 national champs, multiple NCAA tournament appearances. So we're playing 2 teams that have won national championships at the Division II level in the last 10 years. The talent is right on par. They're really good, and we're going to have to be on it defensively and play team basketball to give ourselves the chance to win.
Another marvelous effort by your team today. Casey, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Casey Brueggemann as his Jimmies play very well, but fall short to Minnesota State's Mavericks today by a score of 85-80 here in Sioux Falls at the Yelman Center. Back for a final word on the RM Stout postgame report next on Jamestown 107.1. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
When you're working outdoors, unpredictability is the norm, so tackle your toughest jobs with the 2025 Honda Pioneer 700. This rugged side-by-side brings power to any party with reliable torque for towing and smooth shifting for the trails. Choose between 3 trims, Standard, Deluxe, or the True Timber Forest Edition for ultimate backwoods adventures. See the 2025 Honda Pioneer 700 today at Gun and Reel Sports, 1st Street West, downtown Jamestown. For your safety, read the owner's manual, wear helmet, eye protection, close side nets and doors, and always wear seatbelts. Honda side-by-sides are for riders 18 and older. Sign-on bonuses, $10,000 for full-time RNs or LPNs working PM or NOC shifts, and $10,000 for full-time NOC weekend package positions, and $5,000 for part-time PM shifts. Also offering $5,000 for full-time CNAs working PM shifts or weekend package, day, PM, or NOC shifts. Dietary positions available also. Apply at smphhealth.org/Ave Maria.
The RM South postgame show. The Bill Gross Classic at Augustana University in Sioux Falls, with Truman State and Augustana about to play to follow up. Just a very entertaining game to start, where the Jamestown Jimmies made it awfully tough on the defending NCAA Division II national champions, but Minnesota State behind 24 points from Justin Egan's and 20 from Kyrie's Willingham. Wins 85-80, a 9th UJ double-double for Jimmy Linus, 17 points and 12 rebounds. And talking about not just Jimmy, but about this team showing a lot of toughness in playing the sort of game they did today, again, as they have in the early part of this year.
The fight back is just so impressive, because that's not the case in every program that has a first-year head coach, because you're still getting used to, your head coach. I know these guys start in August, but a first year is not supposed to show this much growth this quickly. And the fact that it is tells you that Casey has a really good idea of what he has on his team. Just the other thing that I would note, and it kind of sneaks up on you, we talked about all the scorers that Minnesota State had. 5 in double figures for Jamestown, and Owen had 8. I mean, they can score too. Let's not forget about that. Just an outstanding effort from UJ. And if it was not already clear, there's a pretty gosh darn good basketball team in Jamestown.
Yeah, it's about 75 points a game now with the 80 scored today through the first 8 of this season for the Jimmies. They're now at 3-5. Well, they turn right back around and play the Augustana Vikings here tomorrow. We will be here and have it for you at 12:30 tomorrow here on Jamestown 107.1. But again, don't forget, tonight it is coverage of the Holiday Dazzle Parade with JD. He'll have that for you at 7 this evening. Again, if you're going out to that, if you're going outside at all at home today, bundle up. We're talking about 15 to 25 below wind chills, with the temperature not getting out of single digits at home today. So please do be careful. Our thanks to the very nice folks here at Augustana University for their hospitality. Wow, that's, again, not the result, but if you're not impressed looking at this team, Beach, I don't know what you're going to be impressed by.
It's going to be awfully hard to impress you. You probably think Michael Jordan's just an all right basketball player.
Well, that's what his sophomore high school coach was. For B.J. Walters, David Burrell. Jamestown Jimmies, again, really making quite a big statement today, but they do fall short. Final score one more time on the Gun and Reel Sports scoreboard in Sioux Falls at the Elman Center. Minnesota State 85, Jamestown 80. Back with you tomorrow afternoon at 12:30 for the Jimmies in Augustana. Until then, happy holidays and good afternoon from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is the voice of the Jimmies.
Jamestown Jimmies basketball has been brought to you by Creative Energy and Dan Superstop, Dakota Central, Hugo's Family Marketplace, Otter Tail Power Company, Professional Eye Care Centers, The Frontier Ford Grill, Unison Bank, Hillerud Construction, SMP Health Ave Maria, Gun and Reel Sports, Essentia Health, Farmers Union Insurance, Steve Benyon Agent, Jamestown Country Club, Originals, Apex Physical Therapy, Jamestown Parks and Recreation, Johnny B's Brickhouse, Buffalo City Diesel, Vetter Construction, RM Stout, and Pit Stop Express Lube. The preceding has been a presentation of the Voice of the Jimmies, Jamestown 107.1.